Not how counting works. But,
here we are now.
Hello. And welcome to the Homebrew Q&A, the show where we avoid the crushing dullness of everyday life using our two favourite forms of escapism. Questions and answers.
Yay! Completely unrehearsed.
It's not like I said that joke, tested it out on the crowd beforehand because I was nervous about
I hope you guys were guffawing heavily out there because it got a great reaction the first time round.
Huge.
Then more muted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should have re-recorded the reaction. For a more genuine...
So... What else would you call it? So welcome if you're just joining us. We're answering the question, what is homebrew? Homebrew. I know.
We're bad at take twos.
Take three.
We're bad at take twos.
Homebrew is a show where we play Dungeons & Dragons live on the internet for people to watch, to comment in on, and the game we play is based on the brews we drink at the table. So, for example, rascals might appear. We might meet an NPC who goes, "Hey, what's your name?" "Well, I was born Sippy. But actually, my name is Mr. Sippy." Mr. Sippy to you.
The improv is often better than that, but not by much.
Sippy is my father.
I'm Dr. Sippy.
So none of us are trained improvisers. None
No.
of us are trained entertainers. We're just a bunch of nerds who like drinking beers, hanging out, and playing.
Hey, wait, there are nerds here? Fucking, I hate nerds.
Although in fairness, we're not even trained in beers. Complete layman. Like,
we don't even know enough about Irish mythology, which we base our world in.
authorities on literally nothing.
Yeah.
So it's our first time doing a lot of things, but you know what they say about first times? Just make it good.
Just it
Never
better be good or you might not get a second time. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, exactly.
Inspirational stuff.
Thanks. So as you can tell, we know what the show is. We know what we're doing most of the time. And we know what it's all about. We stream every 2 weeks on Twitch, and then we upload it onto YouTube. All of us are working people. We all have jobs. We all have things that we do. Hence why we stream every 2 weeks. It's just what we can do in our day-to-day lives. Hopefully, we'll move to a weekly stream at some point in the near future. Hopefully, when we find like a permanent studio space or a forever home.
Or someone to give us money. Give us money. Give us money.
No one's paying for this.
Yeah.
I can loop that if you want.
yeah, that'll be our ad, yeah.
So what we have in the room today, so you're filling in the gaps. We have myself, I'm Ben, I'm the Dungeon Master. We've got Gavin, he plays Rian the Rogue. We've got Wes, he plays Arlington the Bugbear Barbarian. And we've got Angus, who runs our sound. Who we're missing is our Technomancer, Paul Conley. I just like Conley. I've known Paul since I was like 12 years old.
We had a whole no doxing conversation before this stream.
Paul's name is Paul's name is on the thing.
We literally discussed whose full names we were and weren't going to use.
Paul's on the website. He's part of the show.
And if you're on a website, you can't be doxxed. So anyone on Facebook, we're coming for you.
And we're missing Lucy and Keelan, who play Iggy the Bard and Huck the Sorcerer. But I mean, who needs them? Clearly us. There's so many technical and difficult...
This has already been quite a train wreck so far.
They're the glue that hold this entertainment bundle together.
Yes.
But we don't have them. They're off on another adventure.
We've gone from a well-glued structure with screws and bolts to, origami. Like a slight...
we've gone
It's
from,
together, but
yes,
it's not really...
truly beautiful, but useless.
I am so sorry.
We've gone from like something that a kid makes in play school and hands to you, but at least it's together, to just like bits.
Yeah.
Like pasta falling off a piece of paper that says "Happy Birthday."
And the entire audience is your parent that's like really disappointed, but that's so great. Oh,
They'll hang you on the fridge, but you're not going to be up there for more than a week.
yeah. They're going to take it down when their friends call around.
All right. Into actual questions people sent in advance of the stream, just to give us a little bit of that pre-roll in.
Yeah.
And some of the FAQs we get that aren't what is homebrew. The first one, given that beer is such a integral part of the show, question for everyone here, including Angus, who's off screen, but you'll just hear his godly voice.
Yeah, I just kind of assume he's being picked up by the mics.
Yes, yeah, maybe he isn't, but
No?
I don't even know.
we don't know if we're live.
Yeah.
We are that.
Okay.
My God.
But if you say it out, we'll repeat it just in case it's not heard. Like when you get answers from the crowd, and the hosts forget to tell you, and it's just mumble. You know when you're listening to a podcast and it's like, and the person's like, great answer, and you're like, I didn't hear.
Yeah.
So favorite beer or alcoholic drink?
Favorite beer or alcoholic drink? Yeah, I am a craft beer fan. So like all craft beer fans, there's a real novelty, and things that are new and different are often my favorite. So I'll just mix and match with some things I haven't tried before. But when it comes down to like old reliables, I think Little Fawn by White Hag is one of the best beers ever made. Guinness as well. It's popular for a reason.
Where do you stand on Guinness in cans and bottles?
I love it in all its forms. I know that bottled Guinness is a very different thing to canned and pint and
But
draft
do you know
Guinness.
why?
I don't know why. No.
Because do you know the widget thing
Yeah.
in the cans of Guinness? That's what carbonates it, but
It's nitrogen.
Nitrogen, yeah.
Yeah.
But the bottles are done like regular beer.
Yeah. So they're bottle conditioned, so it'll be carbon dioxide.
Yeah, exactly.
So the bubbles are
So
larger.
and it does genuinely taste, I think, completely different.
Yeah.
That's the extent of my knowledge, and it's probably way off.
But all of the bottled Guinnesses are delicious. God, like we really need to wait for that sweet Diageo money to come in. But in lieu of that, all of the bottled Guinnesses are delicious. Foreign Extra, West Indies Porter, the Dublin Porter as well. I think is really nice. I think the Guinness is probably the beer I drink most, and then Little Fawn would be a close second. Although I'm getting real into Smithwick's these days.
Smithwick's is good.
Smithwick's is good, brother.
What's your favorite now?
The red. The
red is good.
The OG. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the blonde as well.
Yeah. I'm
very
not a
nice.
huge blonde fan generally.
It's.
I know
nice
they have
and
more
light.
fun, but ugh.
Wes, do you have a favorite drink?
Sure. I do hate that you went to the one who would be considered much more of a beer expert ahead of me, because now I have to follow with very similar answers but with way
That's
less
it,
words.
Guinness.
I said Guinness. I did.
My answer's gonna be Guinness.
3 Guinnesses.
But
and a Guinness.
I do have 2 reasons for Guinness being my favorite. One being on top, it's my absolute favorite drink. I could drink it all day. My second being, before we went live, a character has been named after Guinness,
Yes.
who hopefully we'll never ever meet.
Yeah.
Because kind of as a a joke, because it doesn't run yet.
Behind the scenes show.
It's a joke that I keep turning back to. Guinness has been named as a giant black dragon with a white sort of beard, and every so often he's kind of been like threatened as like, oh, Guinness is flying overhead. So it's my mortal enemy is my most treasured love, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Guinness.
and also just think it's actually a good name for a dragon.
It really is. Yeah.
Well, the interesting thing about those dragons is that when they hatch, they're sort of like an earthy brown. But as they grow old,
As they settle.
grow into, they settle into an adult dragon, their body turns entirely black, except for the white beard and head they have.
There's a long line of human slavers that would capture them as babies and would draw a shamrock into the side of them when they first saw. Those people were executed immediately.
Strucken from the land for the crime against nature and humanity.
I'd have to say Smithwick's Red as well as one of my favorites. And I'm kind of enjoying this. This was a roll of the dice. St. Austell Tribute Cornish Pale Ale. It's not bad. I was very skeptical because the bottle makes it look like it's a curry sauce.
It does. Yeah.
It makes it look like it's a pie.
Yeah.
It had nothing going for it, but it was like I got like one of everything, and I was like, I haven't tried this before. I'm enjoying it so far.
Nice.
Can I throw another one in?
Oh,
That
please,
is
I wish you would.
a seasonal one from Perlenbacher, I think it is. It's the Schwarzbier, I think it is.
Schwarzbier.
The Schwarzbier, it's a black lager, and I haven't had a black lager other than that one, and it might be style.
Once you have it, you won't go back.
It might be that style is just delicious, but it's one of the nicest beers I've ever tasted. It tastes like kind of toasted wheat. It's like the best way to describe it is it tastes like how outside St. James's Gate smells.
That's a great yes.
Yeah.
So it smells like dog food.
Ambulances.
Warm Weetabix.
Warm Weetabix. Yeah, or the milk that Weetabix was in.
I used to work near enough to the Guinness brewery, and like for a while I thought I was walking by a pet shop when I walked to work. I didn't realize that's what the smell was. It took me ages for the penny to drop.
Yeah. I love the smell outside St. James's. Yeah, the smell of hops.
So it doesn't taste like that.
No.
Yeah.
Well, 2 things. I know that beer. That's one of my favorite beers, and
Ben, what's your favorite beer?
One of those.
Yeah.
One of those Schwartz beers. I bought like 15 of them because they're seasonal.
They're only
Yeah.
out in either September or October. Like we're really
That's
not
a
sure.
weird season.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's a Halloween theme.
they're based
drink?
around Oktoberfest.
Yes.
Oh, which we're not getting this year, I believe.
No, October's there.
It's the fish part.
Yeah.
No, I believe there's no October.
There's no Oktoberfest in the IFSC.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ah, well,
There'll be
I've never
Oktoberfest
been.
beers.
Yeah.
Oh, beers, yeah, but not like the big. What that? Did they do like the floaty dock thing? Down
Yes,
by,
yeah. They do long tables. They do lederhosen. They do big old pitchers.
Yeah.
Which interesting Oktoberfest story. I was there and I had one of those pitchers, and there was some technicality, something really weird. It's just like a plastic stein.
Yeah.
And you have to bring it back at the end of the night to get a $5 for the deposit. You pay a $5 for deposit, and then you bring it back, and they give you a $5 back. And I brought it back, and they said, no, you need the receipt or like the tag or something to prove that this is yours, and you're not just trading in the glass for a $5. And me,
Who cares? You're getting it back.
Well,
Yeah.
well, that's what I said. I was like, you're still getting it back.
Yeah. Who
So,
cares? Like I
$5
didn't
in,
steal.
stein out.
Yeah.
And when they were like, no, I was like, but if you're not going to give me my $5 and you just want this back, and I get nothing for giving it back to you, is there anything stopping me just taking it? And they were like, well, no, you have to give it back. And because it was so crowded, I just went, have to? And just disappeared. Like, goodbye. And I think I left it over in Canada when I was living there or something. It wasn't a pleasant stein to drink from because it's plastic.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It was a
yeah.
victory stein.
But it was a victory for
yeah.
me.
It tasted
Yeah.
like justice. Yeah.
Yeah. I like swindling people at their own mind games. That's why DMing is such a fun task. My favorite beers and breweries. I'm a big fan of a lot of the stuff that comes out of White Hag, both in the product, the actual beer. So Little Fawn, which Gavin mentioned, is one of theirs, but also the names of those beers are one of the things that just twigged me early days onto the potential for a D&D kind of crossover.
yeah.
Because White Hag have things like Bran and Skolin, which are named after the two
Dogs,
Yeah, the two wolf
Yeah.
cousins of Fionn McCool.
Yeah.
They were humans, they were turned into wolves. It's a really interesting
The
story.
dream.
And they introduced him, theoretically, to his first wife, Sive. In the fact that they didn't kill her when they were hunting. So
I've introduced so many happy couples by just like keeping
Yeah.
a cool head.
Sive was turned into a deer by a druid of the Tuatha De Danann who was living in Tirnanog called Far Durka, which I think West. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, but the Irish language is weird. Which I think it's Cool Durka that the West Kerry Brewery have a state named
That's
after.
not much better.
Cool meaning
Go.
peace. Go? Yeah, I don't know, points.
Yeah. All I know is the GAA cool camps.
Yeah. My lack of Gaelga is showing.
White Hag produce great beer pretty consistently. It's rare that they have a slip up. Another brewery that does that is Whiplash, and their rollover is excellent.
Whiplash is good stuff as well.
And their Northern Lights, the micro IPA,
Which you would have seen on this show quite a lot.
is an absolute godsend when you have to drink on a Tuesday night.
Light as air.
Light as air. Yeah, by the time I cycle home, sober as a judge.
Yeah. I'd never had it until you started bringing it to the show, and I was like, ooh, that's quite nice.
Yeah.
I have to say, this one I'm drinking right now, the Born Sippy Lager by Rascals, I think it's new. And like, we started the stream, it is a quaffable beer. So if you can find it, especially if you can find it in like a 4 for 10, to our Irish audience, I guess, if you're in anywhere
This
else.
has been very Irish centric
Yes,
so far,
yeah.
and
If
not
you're
on
ever-
a not on a. Oh, aren't they charming with our culture? It's like you have to be here to get this.
I'm still wondering if you'll define quaff for anyone.
Quaff is a...
It's what Danny had in Greece. Quiff. That's a quiff. It's what comes out of that.
No, that's the wrong one. Yeah. I'm glad you went there, so I didn't have to.
Angus, you're not on screen, but do you have a favorite alcoholic beverage? Appletini, interesting.
Oh, wow, yeah. I don't know why he raised his pinky. That was unnecessary. He's not on camera.
No, actually, I fucking love appletinis. They are amazing.
Don't look at me as if I still said that.
Yeah, we get it. You love Appletinis. Jesus.
No, I'm my rule on cocktails is if you only drink cocktails, they're 0%. The moment you have a touch of other alcohol, that's when it hits you.
We had an entire day after we had finished our show in Edinburgh one year where myself and Ben went for dinner with someone who we worked for, who ended up like buying us a couple of
Yes.
nice cocktails, and then we just went around being like, cocktails are 0%. You can't get drunk if you only drink cocktails. Went to about like 5 different shows, and then showed up to Manus, who was one of the guys we were in the sketch group with, who was working late. And we rocked up, and I'll tell you what he was not happy to hear. Hey, you can't get drunk if you only drink cocktails. 0%.
It's a big old 0. A big old 0%. Sorry, Angus, we got over your actual answers. We got distracted by. I got distracted by apple trees.
To keep it short, since you can translate, probably Moretti, the Italian beer.
Birra Moretti.
I had that about 4 or 5 years before it actually started coming to Ireland. I was away in Italy, and the people we'd rent the house with left 2 bottles in the fridge when they cleared out the rest of the house. And I was like, this tastes good. And I said, wow, I'm getting more of this. And then it was my annual treat when if we went to Italy on holiday.
Yeah.
And then it started showing up in Ireland. And I'm like, this is great, but I also feel less special. As soon as I saw it on tap in one place, I was like,
It's gone.
Now, I don't know if anyone can hear that.
That's a story that really made me hope that the people on the stream can hear you.
In case you didn't, Angus said appletini, and then he described he gave us the recipe and
But
how
he specified that the teeny comes from Italia.
Yeah.
And his family have always
So
gone to
it's-
Italy.
yeah.
And he loves the apples, and he did a lot of gesturing. It was very.
And
Angus,
then he said, if an appletini isn't available, he'll take a flirtini, heavy on the flirt, easy on the teeny. It was, I mean,
There was a lot.
in the George.
A lot more giggling than one would have expected as well.
Angus's proper answer was a Birra Moretti, or as they say in Ireland, Beta Moretti. So yeah.
That's a joke that is very entertaining verbally, but more entertaining written down.
Yeah.
So we can tweet that afterwards.
Just type it into your keyboard and then chuckle to yourself.
We can see chat, so if you're not doing it, we know. Write it in chat. All however many people are there.
So I've just noticed that our usual head of tech and production, Paul, is in chat. He's
Hello, Paul.
Oh God,
Tell him I have it perfectly.
We don't need you.
So if you have any
We do
tech
need to
questions,
come back.
direct them to the chat. Paul might be able to answer if he's able to stick around. He's over in. I'm not going to tell you where he is. He's just in a different time zone. So whether he's asleep or awake, who knows?
our no doxing policy is really like, sometimes we just fucking dox people without a word, and then it's like, he's in, better not say that large country that he's in.
It could be a small one.
And I mean, it must be 9:30 that country's time, so he must be in this park at this moment with his loved ones and family.
Lovely in Thailand this
If
time
you
of
were to
year.
attack him, he wouldn't expect it at all.
Right, I think we spent far too long on the beers we like, because you got to
Yeah,
stop
we're
about
like
beers.
half an
Hey,
hour
if
in.
you like hearing me talk about beers, I like
Not
listening to
once.
the final countdown.
We have not once talked about D&D.
So D&D.
What
We
is
do
it?
have some questions about D&D. I've got some pre-questions here. This one's from MJagsSS. Are we going to release character sheets? I'm surprised we haven't.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
I
think
was
we
like,
should,
oh
yeah.
shit, we should have done that.
See,
Yeah.
there's a lot of shit I'm getting away with that. I'm just relying on the fact that you haven't proofread them. I don't want the
Yeah.
public to go over my
Yes,
homework.
yeah. We should put in, now that we character art, we should put in our little side panel like baseline stats. Probably not the full sheet because like backstories. Sorry, I was just
Oh yeah.
I'm so
I
allergic
thought that was
to
a really
backstories.
animated scoff. Like,
Yeah.
of course not.
I
No,
was
we
trying-
can release entire character sheets, but then whole bits redacted.
Yeah.
Just like it's,
Oh, that'd be- yeah, that'd
wow,
be
he's
real
got a
good.
whole lot of backstory
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. So we'll do that on our social channels at Homebrew Quest. Probably the full sheet on Instagram stories, and we'll make it a highlight. The kind of overarching view of them we'll make into little side panel stuff. So when you're watching the show, and if a character has a particularly poignant moment, or they're sort of their center stage at the time, we'll put their stats up so you can see. You get a little bit of if you understand the stats and numbers you play D&D, you get a little bit of that kind of like, ooh, they're trying persuasion. Look at that charisma. Oh, you can try. So we will put that up. That is a great question. Something we should have done from the beginning, but these guys keep leveling up.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
strong.
It's so strong. I feel like a lot of the people who know D&D and know the numbers will be looking at Rian and be like, man, Gav really likes initiative. He is really maxed out on that thing that's not that useful.
What is your initiative plus?
My initiative is 9.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, and I'm considering taking the alert feat so I can get it to 19. I just think it'd be so funny
You
to have.
can't be surprised then as well.
You can't be surprised. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
so good. I do like that the way he's like constantly got his head in a fucking swivel. Like,
Yeah.
the power. I think you should probably lose your feats if he ever shaves a mustache though. Like that's the source of his power.
Good. Yeah.
It's like, oh, someone's attacking us. I don't care. Let me die.
I'm gonna
It's not worth it anymore.
I'm gonna skip from the pre-questions to a question we just got in on chat, which is
Whoa!
really urgent.
Hot off the presses.
Breaking news, really important question about the show. Angus, which brand of apple do you like using for your appletini?
Who commented that? Who commented?
Our friend
That's-
Goose3691.
I don't know. Granny Smith.
He just likes a pure, like, Mickey Finn's.
Anything from Italy.
Anything from Italy. Your finest Italian apples.
Granny Smith.
I don't know.
The correct answer is Pink Lady.
Pink Lady, I'm a big fan.
Favorite apple.
I'm a big-
I didn't think it would make a good apple tea.
Oh, it does.
I mean,
go
you,
around the
you
circle.
would know.
I'm a big fan of Honey Crunch.
Oh, Honey Crunch.
Yeah.
Just a little peel of Honey Crunch on the side.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
good appletini.
What's your favorite D&D class?
So there's this new class that came out with in Arthur and Kana, the appletini. It's a halfling specific. Favorite D&D class? That's a good question.
I was just trying to get us back on track, but I do actually like the idea of it. Actually, I'll say this before we get too far into it. I was looking through the very base rules for the new edition of Pathfinder.
The monk and
Monk and Barbarian.
classes.
That's meh. No,
Yeah.
I more was looking at the new edition of Pathfinder. I just wanted to see what the classes were in that. Most of them seem like what we have in D&D already, but they have an alchemist class that sounds kind of cool.
Oh.
And it's basically a spellcaster, but specifically themed around like building bombs and potions and all that kind of shit. So like when you're preparing your spells, effectively you're just like mixing and actually being a little scientist. So it's a scientist class, which I thought was fucking cool.
Nice.
The monk and barbarian subclasses I was reading through. The barbarian one makes no sense to me. It's like
It's a fey barbarian.
it's like
or something
magic
weird.
themed.
Yeah.
The one thing I do like is when it something succeed or it fails a saving throw for like a magical effect, it like explodes with magical energy and like overloads the person's brain, which is kind of cool. But the idea of being like magically charged is just weird. But the monk thing has like extra like fucking spiritual arms behind it. That's badass.
Yeah.
So it gets its like flurry of blows and then like extra punches from these like spirit arms that come
Like
out
an iron spider.
pretty much
Like an iron spider.
Kill mode
Yeah,
activated,
yeah.
like.
Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of badass. But the barbarian one, no. Why would you go in with bear?
So, Gavin, this is your first time playing
Yes.
D&D.
Yeah,
so
it
favorite
is.
class?
Well, I've only tried one.
You were a ranger for a little bit.
I was a ranger for a little bit. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed being a ranger. And sometimes I find that I'm so jealous of the spellcasters.
Yeah.
Just like
They get to do mad shit.
they get to do mad shit. Like me and you just get to like I attack in a sneaky way.
Yeah.
You know.
I can tell you, I love it.
Yeah.
I do like that because
It's also our turns are like, what do you do? I hit him.
but I do like how you have to have more like you have to think more with the limited tools you have. Whereas like spellcasters have so much shit that's like, oh, turns out I have this spell that does this crazy thing. Whereas like, okay, so I take the dagger and I stick it under the door and I whatever the fuck, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worked pretty well so far.
It has, yeah. And outside of combat, I think that the rogue is pretty class. Like having a sneaky, charismatic kind of face character is something that I really enjoy. But I think if I, touch wood, if Rian was to ever bite the big one, and I had to re-roll, I'd do a spellcaster of some description, just because like, spells are so dope.
Yeah.
I'm a halfway house of a bard.
We already have one
Yeah,
of
bards
those.
bards are like the halfway house. They're pretty great.
Bards are the full house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ben, what's your favorite class?
No, when I first started, I like playing spellcasters because I also like stationary. So folders of like spells.
Oh,
by
I thought you
level.
meant not moving because they're not mobile.
I was like,
I like
slice
being
those-
still.
No, I love having I love proper pen and paper folder stuff, like having spell cards that I can like look at, fill in, all that sort of
I
stuff.
was really debating buying spell cards for this, but it means buying all the like the fighter maneuvers, the monk things for the 3 cards that a barbarian needs. I was like,
yeah.
Here's the thing you could do.
Make
print
your
them
own.
out.
Go into a shop, Open
steal
the pack.
them.
Take the 3. Close them back. Put it back.
This is like Ben and the friggin' glass all over.
I really don't think that we should be encouraging this.
Oh no, I wouldn't do it. That's
Yeah,
a terrible idea.
We can encourage what we want. We're not sponsored. And speaking of, since we're not sponsored by Diageo, don't drink responsibly.
Well,
We are.
Yeah. Oh, I really shouldn't be on this tightrope.
Good thing I have these stolen cards.
3.
I'm
Oh
out of
shit.
cards already. I should have stolen more cards.
Yeah, I usually play spellcasters, but because I usually do that, anytime I'm playing a one shot or anytime there's an opportunity to do something else, I'll go for like monk, ranger. They're two like I want to dip into a bit more because they seem like it's not just up attack, but it's also up attack and stuff. And I think that's a nice sort of step for me to eventually just barbarian out.
Yeah.
It's also fun because I mean, as a DM now, it's fun to flavor your attacks because if like you can, a monk must be so boring if it's like I run up and hit him 3 times, whereas you can be like I run up fucking Matrix style along the wall, punch him in the neck, punch him in the gut, whatever.
Yeah. Natural 1.
I break my ankle.
It's always when you like say you're
plan.
doing this badass maneuver when the natural ones come out. It's God's way of telling you that you're doing it wrong.
And for anyone watching video on demand, we have some of the cast in chat as well. So Hook has answered spellcaster. They're just more entertaining. Now Hook is also a wild magic spellcaster, so things are wanting to go wild and crazy. And if he rolls a 1, it's like who knows what's going to happen next.
I've only just realized recently the comparison to Hook being a wild magic sorcerer and only wanting to make friends. He's a giant dog that thinks he's a little dog. He's like the dog that like wants to get up in your lap. It's like you are breaking everything. It's like we are best friends. We are best friends. You're breaking my legs.
Speaking of not having a sponsor, we do have a partner to the show, and that is Dakota Irish. They're an incredible dice maker,
Beautiful dice.
dice tray maker, dice tower maker. They're a craftsman shop, they're a crafts workshop down in Carlow in Ireland, run by this lovely guy.
Doxing people.
It's on their website.
It's British summertime around there. I think the sun should be at about kind of 76 degrees.
We'll post the coordinates loosely in the chat, just so we can figure that out.
76 degrees for temperature.
And they have an incredible Kickstarter that's running right now for a set of Dragon's Breath dice. So it's dice inspired by the dragons of Dungeons and Dragons.
It's very cool.
So I'm going to post a link in the chat, and we'll have it in if you're watching video on demand on like YouTube or anything. And it's pretty recently to where it is here. I can just check in the comments because we'll also have it there or in the little like description box. I'm about to post it into the chat.
I think the thing that I'm most excited about as well is the stretch goals in it because I am in love with the woodwork that Dakota Irish do, and that I realize it sounds like a shameless shill thing, but I've been down in the shop because I was doing some work with Luke who runs the shop, and like some of those trays are like there's like this fucking crushed velvet like center and then like this wormwood edge. Is it wormwood? No,
actual
Wormwood's the other company. It was like, oh, I can't remember.
Well, there goes our sponsorship.
Yeah, well, there you go. I fucked it up. No, this real like dark mahogany, I think maybe or something.
Yes,
It was just, like,
he had a
fucking-
Royal U, I think.
That might be the one I'm thinking of.
That's real nice.
It was like there.
Is it not Royal We? Like
Yes,
Royal
sorry,
U is like,
it is,
hey,
yeah.
you did that. The Royal U.
And we have at the end of this Q&A, we've got like a super cool extra special announcement to make on behalf of Dakota Irish and us in the show. So stick around for that to the very end. Or if we're already out, just check our social channels at Homebrew Quest because we'll be pretty excitedly just posting that up immediately tomorrow morning. On to another question.
What's it gonna be?
So I'll go to this question comes from the Candid Man Can on our social channels. And it's a general question. Just how has it been for everyone growing the game into what it is now? Like a fall. From
So
off
in an
screen.
answer, scoff.
Yeah.
I can give a little bit of background about everything pre-stream, which was I was living over in Toronto, playing D&D with a bunch of friends there, knowing I was going to move back, and having previously been on the Final Countdown quite a lot, less so these days because of this show. Loving Irish beers, really missing Irish craft beers. Canada has some lovely craft breweries, but like nothing on Ireland, to be fair. And missing all those, I was looking up names and playing D&D, and like we said, White Hag, you come across things like the Puka. What's this one? The Puka.
Oh, look how that worked out.
As spooka-y. Didn't really work. Didn't work.
Can I shut off both your mics?
No.
So Angus is just telling us like he's just shaking it up. That's the noise you're hearing. It's just. I fucking love an appletini right now.
Yeah, you've really talked me into one.
Yeah. Looking at things like that, but there's also like Rascals, Blacks Can Sail, Yellow Belly have a bunch of things out there. It just seemed like factions in a D&D world, characters and monsters. There was a lot of stuff in beer that made sense for mythology and folklore and fantasy. And then Irish mythology is something that we all kind of learn when we're kids. And
Yeah,
I don't even
you
think
learn.
it's like a little bit in like primary or elementary school, but you kind of know the top 5 stories. And I think it's fair to say that a lot of people in Ireland know way more like Greek and Roman myths, even Egyptian and Norse myths, than we do our own history and folklore. So I wanted to learn more about that, but also find a way to kind of platform that. Now, Homebrew isn't the best place to do that because we homebrew everything. So we sort of take inspiration from mythology and then muddle it up a good bit so it makes sense in
Make
our
it
world.
worse, but
Yeah,
make it fit.
Make it.
We make the names familiar, but the stories are totally of our own making because it's D&D. So it's all, if we were to stick to a script, it wouldn't make sense. So coming home and seeing some DM diaries that Wes was putting up online and being in school with Wes, we met in a tavern.
We did. In cliched fashion, but it fit.
I was like, I'm putting a band together.
Yeah.
I need a brains, a bronze. That's all we need. And we got them. So it was, and that was like almost to the day.
Yeah.
Tomorrow last year was when I met Wes in that pub. So it's been a year in the sort of slow making. And part of putting together a stream on the internet, and this show in particular, is there's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we didn't go live until after Christmas.
We were like 4 months in, maybe?
Yeah.
I know exactly when we went live because it was Bialtana. It was the 1st of May, I
Was
think.
it?
Because there was a nice correlation with it was the eve. It was April 30th, I believe. Or maybe it was hold on. March 30th, maybe Bialtana starts in April.
Yeah, no, because I was away in
Yes.
Canada and we'd already started by
Yeah,
then.
so
and I
it
was
would
away
have been
Canada
March
in May.
30th. Was
Yeah.
when we had our first like episode 0 backstory
Yeah.
of Hook. And just to see even we only stream every 2 weeks, but just to see the progressions we make 2 weeks on 2 weeks on 2 weeks is really amazing, because it's like if you look at episode 0 and you look at the show now and you look at where it can go from there, like finding a proper studio space, finding an actual set to backdrop us, having like a fridge full of beers like you would have a shelf full of minis would be amazing, because then you can suddenly go, oh great, we have these and these. There's a lot of potential to grow the show, but growing the game into what it is now, a lot of hard work, which I'm super happy has paid off in such an incredible way, because it's something we hear all the time off stream. It's like, whoa, you guys, the production's real good, and we go, oh, well, us.
Yeah.
Because to us, it's like we don't know, right? We got some incredible talents in the room, which help it all bring to life, and that it's a team effort. Like you don't build a Twitch show on the back of one person.
I literally just got a message from one of the girls that I work with because I posted a video of a behind the scenes build here as we were doing this. She goes, I still can't believe you do work when you get home from work.
So is there any experience you guys have had growing the show into what it is?
Yeah, no, I've really enjoyed it because, well, I before we did this show, I was running my own home game, but that was the first time I started playing properly, so I'd only been running a game for less than a year at that stage. And I'd recorded a couple episodes just with a GoPro, and I loved the idea of doing a show, but my background is video production, and I was running the show, and doing both of those at the same time just wasn't working. So I recorded like 2 episodes, and then I was doing the video diaries that you saw. That ended up being a lot more work. And then doing this with multiple people that have different disciplines, I was like, oh, cool, this is more what I'm kind of looking for. And it became this kind of sort of... After a while, I could kind of equate it to being like, on a sports team or something. Like, as in you go down to training with the lads or whatever, and then you've got the match or whatever. I say all these things like they're fucking foreign languages. Can you tell I'm a sporty person?
Yeah.
And you catch a football ball, and then you
get the points.
Yeah. But it's kind of like that. Like, as in, like, it's not my world outside of streaming, but like it's on the back of your mind, or like you'll think, and then I'll do like clip up some stuff or whatever, and then there's game night, which or every second Tuesday or whatever, and it's good to have a like, I mean, I've got holidays I have to take before Christmas before I lose them, So I've strategically placed them so that I have a Tuesday and a Wednesday off here and there. So I'm not rushing after work to get to the stream, and then I have a day off after the stream. Like that's kind of I don't know. It's nice that it's part of my life, but not taken over. It's like it's still fun. It's not work.
And watch out for those episodes because you're gonna get a drunk Arlington.
You'll be able to tell.
An effed up Arlington.
I've gotten drunk-ish on one episode, and it kind of like snuck up me, and then I was very aware, but then I got kind of quiet. For those nights, I'm going to make a little drinking game for myself.
I think everyone knows the episodes I've gotten drunk on. So.
Oh yeah.
We got an answer in from Paul, our technomancer. His answer on the tech side of things is it's been interesting to get running, but we got there. I think, yeah, true, yeah, because we did a lot of test streams. We did a lot of test streams.
Purely tech nights.
Yes, we did a lot of tech nights where the players, like, anyone who was kind of on the tech side or needed to be there was there. Anyone who didn't need to be there wasn't there, just to make sure, like, echoes, lights, picture quality.
There are just so many things that we... Like, I think it was kind of 6 weeks before we went live, we thought we were okay to go live. Yes. And then and then it was like, no, man, this isn't working. And I think it was, we can look back at it and laugh now, but one of the most frustrating nights of my life.
It was very frustrating. It was so stressful.
Yeah. I wasn't doing anything, so I could just, like, sit there and be like, anything I can do to help? Yeah. Whereas, like, the tech guys were pulling their hair out because, like, things weren't obeying them. But we got there in the end, and like since we've gone live, we've improved our stream quality. Like, I think everything has improved. The way kind of we act with each other as well, and like given that we're only a year into this, and I didn't know Wes before this. I knew Lucy and I knew Keelan a little bit, and was good friends with Ben. But you also feel the kind of chemistry developing week after week after week, and we kind of get to know each other's rhythms as performers, and I'm really excited for another year of that, where you know you get to the point, and I got to it with at the final countdown and the sketch show, where you know what the person's going to say almost before they say it. You don't know the exact thing, so you're still surprised, you still laugh, but you know how the beats in your conversation go.
You get the cadence of a person. You get their kind of general timbre. So you know roughly when they're going to finish a sentence and when it's nice to jump in.
Sentences. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I thought you were going to...
Good.
But one thing, like, I don't know if there's anyone out there thinking about starting a stream, thinking about starting a show.
We've got it covered.
Yeah.
Back the fuck
Just
up.
watch this. It's our turf.
My sound foam.
Yo.
but like, order priority for us was, like, audio fidelity.
Yes.
Absolutely.
If our video quality was, we could get away with people listening at least.
My time to shine.
Still loving Appletinis.
Just keeps chiming
Double
in.
shakers.
And don't let like a couple of tech hiccups. Like we had 6 weeks of proper tech hiccups and like maybe 2 months of like like it just took us forever. Like dive right in, learn on the way. We're still learning. Because we're still fledgling show. Like, there's no.
I think might get Angus in to just talk a little bit about the sound.
Yes,
I was about to say the sound was a big issue and a big thing we had to overcome. And as far as I know, it didn't work. Now it works. Here's Angus to explain why.
Angus, thank you very much. Angus, ladies and gentlemen, Angus. Angus, thank you.
Big week, first time.
Thank you for putting down the Appletini and joining us.
Honestly, Ben mentioned the White Hag, and I tell you, there were like 3 drinks on the table. They all changed into White Hags. It's like,
it's a prop beer.
I know Ben likes working the marketing or whatever, but I don't know how he did that one.
So Angus, we also met in a tavern.
We did, yeah.
I think I met everyone in a pub. You'd be like, how would you like to play D&D on the internet?
You met me at my place of work. It was very official.
You just work.
That is not a joke. Ben met me at my place of work and asked me to be on this.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Everyone else got a nice fun trip to the pub.
Look,
I had to give up a lunch break.
Okay, cocktails are 0%. So, what are you gonna do? But yeah, what your experience at Sound and how it's been applying that to this?
Yeah, so I'd done a fair amount of work sort of with radio. That would sort of been my the area I had done the most in, as well as some video work as well. So those would be the split. But really, in terms of coming to Homebrew, it was a case of I was coming in from saying, oh, I've worked in radio. Okay, there's not a lot of live streamed D&D shows, like not based in the US, sort of thing like that. That's definitely something, especially with sort of a live market, that could work here. Actually, a mutual friend of myself and Ben, Aaron, who's won like one of our competitions a few weeks back or something like that.
Yeah, he guessed the proper outline of the town of McKellar on our Instagram channel.
Oh.
Yeah.
He pretty much told me about.
He's just drinking all of it. It's apple
He
tea.
left all these apple teenies on guard.
But yeah, he told me about the idea for Homebrew starting up. So he said, listen, this guy Ben who's starting us up, do you want to chat? So I as all D&D quests start, met in a tavern and pretty much I got the pitch already of what sort of Homebrew would be. And as soon as I heard D&D show, I said, right, okay, I can do that. I can absolutely also run sound for it. I was used to sort of a larger setup than. Like, my very first game that I was here for was before we had like even half of the tech we have now, even in terms of like pure hardware. And it was myself and Paul, who, man, I'm also going to tell you, in terms of the fact that he's not here, normally like crew are the only ones not allowed to drink.
He's watching.
Yeah, he's going
I
mental.
didn't drink it though.
Absolutely.
I didn't drink. I actually overdid on things, so I can't even say I drank it all.
This is no joke, but because it is a hopped lemon sour apricot, I'll tell you what it kind of tastes like.
It kind of tastes like. Can I have a taste?
Yeah. Let me know what that kind of tastes like.
Oh, that's actually quite nice. It's very similar to an appletini.
Fizzy appletini. It genuinely.
It really is.
Also, again, whoever in chat put in the Apple question, what the hell?
Keep doing what you're doing, Goose.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So we didn't eat, like, it was in here the first night, which is where I met everyone, bar Ben who I'd met before that, and hearing sound, we didn't have like sound bump put up for things. We had different mics. We didn't have pop filters. And it was kind of like, okay, Angus, you're working sound, and put it all in. Instead of just like, hey, how does it sound? Terrible. But it's like, can we change it or whatever? Like, what do we have here? And we just didn't.
Yeah.
So it was really kind of a case of once we were actually sourcing stuff, and then we moved to our usual set. We hit the big tech flurry of stuff we had to deal with.
It was like trial by error and trial by fire.
Yes.
Like the big thing we had to deal with there was echo.
That dolphin.
But in terms of like, there were lots of other things in terms of getting stuff from soundboard to the stream correctly, and getting sort of people with mic etiquette. Like, we had a lot of our test runs try-ins that weren't streamed recorded, where our notes or the improvements at the end of the games were always sort of like, listen guys, you speak into the mic, or you go around, even if you to look, you nearly like a shield, you keep the mic between you all at all times, sort of thing. And there were those, like, they were hiccups, but they naturally worked through things. But the big things we had was in terms of working sound to move from pretty much the recording, the sound setup we have, into the stream and pushing that on. And then the other one was based on the set we had.
Yeah.
And that kind of like, even say like, we have this space, the wall here. We have lots of these little spaces where sound would get caught, and we'd just get echoes, and we'd stand in the middle of the room before we'd even say anything set up, and we'd just talk and, to say anything to listen, and you could hear it a little bit. So that was a big thing to
Which
fight.
for a lot of like Irish architecture, like a lot of high ceilings in old houses, a lot of corners that just like bounce sound around. And it was one of those things that like you said earlier, at the time when we met, like there's like a bunch of tabletop games over in the UK running. There wasn't too many in Ireland running. Since it's kind of exploded a little bit, which has been fantastic. Just to see the community grow and to get to know those people and to hopefully have them on this show and kind of cross promote and do all that kind of stuff. Like, that's all ahead of us, which is amazing. But on the note about sound, the main thing about getting it right is Gav, you've been putting together like hopefully a podcast version of this, and if the sound
hopefully, like, oh no,
they haven't been checking. I haven't been doing jack shit.
But if the sound is bad and that's all you have to go on, like, and especially when it comes to mic etiquette, like talking over each other, touching the mic, that's like a 10,000 times worse when it's just your headphones.
But before Angus came along, we had recorded a few things, and the episodes ended up being, I think, about 45 minutes shorter than they are now, just because I had to cut out large chunks of people talking over each other. Like, while Wes was making an attack, myself and Lucy were chatting about something, like riding the mic, and just all you heard was a rabble of 3 different voices all at once, and nothing was clear.
And not in like a cool It's Always Sunny way.
Yeah.
Like in an incomprehensible mess.
It was a mess. It was an absolute mess. But entire sections had to be taken out because it was so bad. And thankfully we've learned since then to not talk over each other, because we were all raised in a barn by assholes.
Well, I mean, you be the judge of that. Let us know if we do it, and we're trying not to do it. But
Listen, it was the barn beside the tavern. That's why everyone got to meet in the tavern.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the history of the show up until now. Yeah, we might just take a little break so we can refill our cans. What a weird thing to do. During the break, if you want to follow us on our social channels for all the kind of stuff that we're talking about, the behind the scenes stuff that isn't this, it's at Homebrew Quest on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Also give our dice partner, our dicely benefactor, as we've been calling him, Dakota Irish, a follow on across the social channels, and check out the Kickstarter. You can back it today, and if you're thinking, oh man, I really want to back this project, but I'm going to wait till payday. The amazing thing about Kickstarter is you can back a project, and unless it gets funded or unless it kind of rose, it's at the end of the campaign that money kind of gets pledged towards the cause or towards the product. I've backed it here. I think there's a couple other backers in the room. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to rolling the dice on camera. Because I'll tell you what, when those dragon dice get introduced, guess who's coming around the corner? Our old friend Gibbs.
What? I thought that too. I thought Tuberg was coming back.
I
thought that was what? No,
Wait,
I thought we discussed this.
Yeah, I mean, a bit of Hibernia lore before we cut to the break. Dragons have not been seen in ever. Because it's mental. Like, you see a Dragonborn, no wings, no tail. You see an Aarakocra, wings. That's nonsense land. Like, a flying Dragonborn like an Aarakocra, you would have to be crazy to think that existed.
I mean, I don't get it as much in terms of, when I'm running sound, but being like on camera with you, are you high?
No, that's High Rollers. They're over in the UK. They're a great show too. You should check those guys out. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in like 15, maybe even less, because there's less stuff to kind of do in the meantime. Check us out. Ask
Less
any
people
questions.
to pee.
Check us out in the chat. Ask any questions you have. We're going to do a few more Q&As, and potentially, if we've time, like a little bit more kind of NPC stuff. Some of the beers we're drinking here, you might see back in the show as places, people, things, the usual. Yeah. So until then, see you back here in like 15 minutes.
Stay frosty.
Bye.
Welcome to Dakota Irish's first Kickstarter. This Kickstarter is about dice, and I hope a lot more than dice. It's something that I created to give back to the tabletop gaming community. Dakota Irish is pretty much myself. It's a sole trader company with some part-time help that comes in and helps me out on doing various different tasks like admin and things like that. I love working with my hands, and I love working with wood, and so I started to make a few dice trays for my friends, and one thing led to another, and suddenly I was on Etsy and selling my own dice trays and going to conventions and becoming a part of this amazing community in a way that I hadn't expected. I've been selling dice now for probably about a year, a little over a year, and so that experience has given me a really good contact network and a really good relationship with my suppliers. I know who I'm working with, I know what they're able to deliver, and I also know the quality, and I know the time that they're able to deliver the timelines. They're extremely professional. What makes my dice different is the quality of the dice and the uniqueness of them. So when I look for dice, when I'm trying to find new dice to bring in, I'm looking for what is truly unique, what is something that I think everyone can buy into, regardless of your background, your orientation or your alignment, right? You're going to be able to find dice sets that work for you. One of the things I've noticed with people when they buy dice is that they tend to buy dice for a character or a concept, and I think that is really cool, by the way. I love it. I started doing it myself. When I'm looking for new dice, I'm like, oh God, that would be great for an Elven Mage, or that would be great for a Halfling Barbarian, which is the best Barbarian, by the way. Dice making is part of it, but then there's also obviously the wood element. And I think for me, the two go together. And that's why in this Kickstarter, some of the other things that I'm offering are things like dice trays, dice towers, healing potion kits, status effect marker sets, and all the other accoutrements I want to be able to add as higher level and higher tier pledges for this campaign. So the first tier is just going to be a support tier. If you just want to support us and give us a little bit of funds to say, hey, look, I support what you're doing, that's kind of the first tier. And I'd like to keep that low, something that everybody can buy into, even if you just want to say, hey, listen, here's a buck or something like that. Well done. The next tier up from that is going to be a 7 dice set. So if you want to buy in and you really like one of the sets that we're doing, I have names to be determined. If you want to buy into one of the dice sets, then you can do that as a 7 dice set. And then the next tier, the third tier, is going to be a 11 dice set. So that's 2d20, a d12, 2d10s, a d8, and then 4d6 and a d4. And the reason I have that set up is because then you have all the dice you're ever going to need to play. So even if this is their first Kickstarter that you're backing, and maybe it's even your first dice set, you'll be able to take that dice set and play D&D, and you won't need to borrow anybody's dice. So you have enough to do great character creation, you have enough for your advantage and disadvantage and all the other stuff. And then the next tier up from that is going to be if you want to buy all of the dice sets. So you want all 4 of them, and you're really excited about it, you can buy into that tier. And then from there, I'll start adding tiers like dice trays, dice towers, healing potion kits, status effect marker kits, and just different bundles that you can buy. So if you say, I really want to back this and I really want to help you and support your craft, you can even get into the higher tiers and support me and support the business with that, whatever suits your budget and suits what you're looking for to get out of it. So some of the risks that we face are going to be delays in dice production. It's going to be things like quality checks. Do the dice all fit to the high standards of quality I expect from them? Are they going to be delivered on time? Are we going to have any delivery delays from me to you? Are there going to be any financial issues in terms of money exchanges? And then also import duty and import tax. So I want to be very open and upfront with it and around what risks I see with that. And that's why I think delivering the project in spring of next year, having that as the final delivery date in March 2020 makes a lot of sense. It gives me enough time to make sure that we have all of the dice, make sure that we're able to fulfill all of the pledges, and also gives us a little bit of buffer time for any of those risks. Dakota Irish is not just a dice company, it's not just a woodworking company, it's not just a 3D printing company. Dakota Irish is your one-stop shop for anything that's high quality in the tabletop gaming industry. You should be able to come on my website or come to my stall, and you should be able to find the thing that you love, the thing that you always wanted, the thing that you say, God, if I only had that, then the game would be better for me, or I would enjoy this more. You should be able to find that in Dakota Irish. I hope you find what you're looking for in this Kickstarter, particularly around some really awesome new dice sets that have never before been seen. I'm really super excited about the effects and the look of some of these. They're something really special, and in fact, every time I look at these dice sets, I see something new in them that I didn't capture before. So I'm really excited to offer these to you guys, as well as some additional stuff that maybe you weren't expecting, some new and higher pledges. So have a read. If you have any questions, let us know. I hope you'll back us in this Kickstarter. You'll tell your friends about it as well, share it on social media, and help us get the word out. And thanks very much for supporting us in whatever way.
We do videos every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. GMT time, so which guys go check them out and check out the rest of the library as well. We got a lot of stuff going on there.
Cool. Yeah, like, share, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. Getting it out of the way early because in case you can't tell, I'm super excited about Zombieland 2. The reason I'm super excited about Zombieland 2 is Zombieland 1. If you haven't seen it, please see it. It is incredibly funny and is a film kind of out there on its own.
It's a good zombie kind of comedy.
Yeah.
Which we have a very loose lack of.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Well, it looks like this one, so we're not doing a full trailer watch through here. We're going to do a bit of trailer breakdown, what we think of it. I'm really, really happy. that it's the original cast is all back. So you got Woody, you got Jesse Eisenberg, you got Abigail Breslin, you got Emma Stone. It's great that they're back, but it looks like it's moved on a few years, or at least a period of time, which it had to, because Abigail Breslin was growing up.
Yeah.
But it looks like they're together as a bit of a family now. So that's a unit that's solidified even more so since we saw them last.
So so they traveled now to DC, which is across the country. So they've obviously been together for a very long time, which is nice kind of family unit cohesion, as you said.
They're in Washington.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. It's not just they're together. I'm happy because Woody Harrelson looks happy. I want Tallahassee, his character, to be happy because he is the most, in a zombie apocalypse, he's the most happy guy because he loves killing zombies. So the trailer opens with him looking extremely happy at his job. You know, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in his life. He is minted now because he's going to be very, very happy. He likes going to the biggest person's house that he can find. The White House makes an awful lot of sense.
Yeah.
I think he may have alluded to it in the last film. So them in Washington, it spells comedy for me. I think that's going to be good.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you can do with the White House, especially in the current climate. Not to comment on anything like that, but in the current climate, you can make a lot of fun in a zombie land kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems I like that they've, from the trailer, from the opening parts, it seems like they've kept a lot with the tone and kind of like comedy kind of styling stuff that they have from the first one.
Yeah,
which is nice.
So.
It's nice that they've still continued on that niceness.
Yeah. And they're carrying over things from the first film, like the rules. There's a mention to Jesse Eisenberg's rules, which I thought were a great little device. And that leads us into they're doing the best thing that they can possibly do in a sequel. They're introducing other survivors. It looks like the zombie horde is still going to be the big danger, which I'm really happy about. We talked about this briefly. I was a little bit worried that they were going to go for a sequel where it's like, oh, but you can't trust other survivors.
Yeah.
There'll be an element to that.
Yeah, like
no doubt.
Let's not go Walking Dead kind of too much because it's zombie land, not zombie more with people. Land.
Exactly. So the zombies, and there's enough in this trailer that shows you there is going to be zombie hordes. They are going to be an ever-present danger. You still are going to have Woody Harrelson having fun killing them.
Yeah.
But it's likely, in my opinion, that some of the new people that are introduced are not going to make it to the end of the film.
No.
And I think Madison, who is introduced by name as a, what's the kind way of putting it, a little bit of a ditzy young girl?
Yeah, I guess it's the blonde bimbo kind of stereotype is kind of like going on there.
Which isn't great, but I don't think she's going to make it. I think they're screaming that she is going to fall to one of the rules, more than likely.
Yeah, I'm not overly thrilled about that character's introduction kind of thing.
Me either.
You know, so I'm sorry for that actress.
Yeah.
I hope you die pretty quickly.
Yeah, you know what, as long as they continue with the theme of comedy, that's the whole thing that I'm getting from this trailer is they're completely know what they're doing. They're accepting the fact that they're a comedy with zombies. They're not forgetting that there's a zombie element. Rosario Dawson is introduced. I have a personal theory that Rosario Dawson makes everything 10% better because she's just brilliant. But I think there's going to be an absolute danger more than once in this.
Yeah, it seems like there's going to be a fairly good dynamic because Rosario Dawson seems like the counterpart towards Woody. His character, and Madison seems to be adding a little bit of tension between the Emma Stone and Jesse Eisenberg. It's kind of like love triangle. So there will be tension and stuff like that. But that leads on to the other thing.
Go.
The mirror people.
Oh yes, the ending, which I absolutely love. The Luke Wilson showing up as a mirrored or a doppelganger type
it's a really interesting kind of way to go, and then like to put the icing, because also you have the monster truck versus his truck, and then you have his cowboy suit and stuff, but then you have the icing on the cake with the introduction to Thomas Middleton.
Thomas Middleton shows up as the Jesse Eisenberg mirror, which is brilliant, and obviously they've already, as you kind of covered, they've given the Emma Stone dynamic with Madison. So I think, I'm just looking forward. There's laughs there, people. Whatever you think about the movie, there's going to be laughs in that dynamic.
Yeah, and I think with the sisters kind of running off thing, I think that's going to build into a kind of a further element of maybe not all people are great at this stage even though you might have gone through meeting a couple of good ones.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So, like, I don't know about that kind of running away thing. It seems like a kind of done over trope thing that I'm a little worried about.
Yeah, and I think the minute Paul said it to me that, oh, they're using the sister ran away trope, I was like, yeah, that is a shame. But I think the benefit of that is they're going to use it as their mechanism to go back on the road trip. It's going to help with the road trip aspect.
Yeah, I think if it's used in a proper kind of context and kind of way, and they kind of try to avoid some of the more, you know, obvious pitfalls of it, they can do it. And as you said, as long as it's Zombieland comedy, I'm okay.
Yeah. So essentially, we're excited. Well, I'm excited. You're giving it the...
I'm on the fence.
Yeah, you're more cautious. But the reason I'm so optimistic is if they nail the idea of Woody Harrelson being happy in that world and just expressing himself, I think there'll be enough comedy there to carry almost any film.
Yeah.
So even if it's a miss, it won't miss by that much, I guess. There might be downsides, but I think they'll probably get away with it.
I like the fact that they're just I like that they're opening some of the vehicles.
Yeah.
Some of the rides are going to be a little bit more choice, you know.
Yeah, there's definitely the rat rod of the apocalypse type thing is going to go on there, which is going to take all sorts of buttons for me. We'll probably do a Car Geek episode on it just for me. But yeah, so I'd say check out the link to the trailer in the description below. While you're there, if you want to leave us a comment, let us know if you're excited about it, what you think, what direction you think they might take. And so until next time, I guess.
Yeah.
I've been Patrick.
And I've been Paul.
My mother always told me, someday you'll be good at something. I mean, I don't think she could have guessed that something would be zombie killing. What do you think? Zombie kill of the week?
That's not a bear. That's...
You dirty son of a bitch.
Welcome back.
We should have orchestrated our bits.
We should have all of it separate bits, as if we're being caught off guard. Because genuinely, it does. A quick answer to the tech question from part one. One thing we still get used to is like there's a countdown timer, then we go live, then we have audio, then I don't know if I start. So you'll notice that a lot of the shows start with me being like, "Hello," and I just stretch out.
I think the last one, to fill the air, we were all just dancing. And there's a pause of 2 seconds, and for some reason the audio hadn't come in. I think Paul was trying to reach a switch or something, and you're doing this real awkwardly, and you can see you going, and then you get the nod, and then you get a nod, but the audio still doesn't come in, so you go, "Welcome to Homebrew."
Welcome to part 2 of Homebrew, Q&A, where we're answering your questions with our answers from either pre-stream or on the stream in chat. If you have any questions, we're going to... Part 2 is a little bit different. We're going to answer these questions we have on the table, and then if you've never played D&D before, or you've never played Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition...
Get the fuck out of the stream.
Yeah, what are you doing here? Yeah. Unless you've drunk a beer before, in which case stay in the stream.
Then you're cool.
Then you're cool.
Then you're allowed in.
No underage viewers.
Yeah. I just wouldn't. We're going to roll up a character who hopefully will appear in Hibernia, in the realm of Hibernia, where we play our homebrew game, or potentially in a one-shot that we're doing sometime in the future I won't be here. And I'm not going to dox myself and tell you where I'm going.
Let's just say it's in the northern hemisphere somewhere.
Yeah, let's just say it's in a
maybe
small
not.
little country that used to be called Hibernia. But the guys will do one shot and maybe the character will appear there. But without further ado, let's jump into these questions. First question coming from MJagsSS. Any plans to use minis in the future? And I'll take this one.
Please do.
I wish you would.
Because it's usually the DM who has, like, man, can you imagine how cocky you'd be walking up as a player being like, oh, you don't use minis? You'll use mine.
Yeah.
Just me.
Just me. Just move me around the table.
Just move me around the table. And Arlington, you could be a bottle cap, and Huck, you're a tic tac, and there I am, nice and tall.
Yeah. Look how good I look.
I'm painted. I've used a little bit of cotton for a smoke effect, which is actually genuinely cool. If you're that level of mini painter, like, we love your work. Let us signal boost you. Just get in touch with us and we'll just like retweet your stuff.
Yeah.
Like mini art, it's an art form. Yeah.
Love.
Oh, I follow many cool painters on Instagram, and it makes me very happy.
I have a. This is how into minis I am, and I hope that we end up using them. I got a custom made mini of a bard I play, Koo, who named after Koo Cullen. And then I just custom made mini of me.
Yeah.
2 bottles of beer and a shirt. Because I thought if we were playing like House on the Haunted Hill or any of the games where they come with minis, I'd just put myself in the situation.
So good. And I think you showed it to me without saying that it was you, and I 100% was able to guess because you were like in the middle of like your shirt, like is about down to here, and there's 2 bottles of beer and just a little bit leery.
Was it a human or a halfling? I can't remember. I've seen the mini.
The halfling is Koo. The human is.
Oh, it is you. Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you made yourself a halfling just to be like, they look like they have more fun. I wish I was.
Yeah.
No one
just so
aspires to be a
charismatic.
halfling.
So the hope is that, like, yeah, totally. But it all depends on, like, we need more cameras. I think you need, like, a proper overhead or, like, a good setup. We need, like, a proper space to store the things because, look, like, lugging minis around, it's, like, as any DM out there who uses minis or any players out there using minis, it's an expensive habit. Not because, like, the minis themselves are, like, pricey. Some of them are. But because, like, you see one, like craft beer sometimes, and you go, I have to have it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have backed
you're
many
into-
board games on Kickstarter because the minis were badass and never played the game, but I have the minis.
Yeah.
Dark Souls.
Painting them's fun. Painting's a lot of fun. A little story about myself and Lucy. We were away on a trip away at Christmas one time. Just like classic trip away with the gang, drinking beers, exploring the west of Ireland. Tell you what we did. Sat in the room painting minis.
That's a fun weekend.
It was great.
That's so good.
And it was really disappointing when people came in and being like, I don't want to play a board game. And all of us were just like,
When I'm finished.
but
Why would we do that?
I love how that's the thing. It's like people came in with their cool ideas, like, "Hey, want to play Snakes and Ladders?" We're like, "No, sorry guys, we're playing our minis. You're both losers."
I haven't finished my second coat. Just the one coat, huh, Biff? So yeah, hopefully totally use. We promised our answers would be short this part.
Yes, short answers.
And that's directed towards me.
I think like short answer, if we get proper studio space,
Yes.
would be
Yes.
the big one, because if we have the means to set up a mini camera and the space and all this kind of stuff, but we don't have time to set that up every stream. If it's something we could leave set up in between streams, we're good to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Space to have it beside the DM.
Yeah, just to carry it in, to have it there. To at the moment, we're like really thankful that we're in Keelan's living room.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. It feels like proper D&D.
It does, yeah,
Feels
yeah,
like
it
it's
really
like,
does.
You know, someone's going to walk in at any moment and offer us orange
And they
slices.
do. Well, orange light. She tells us to shut the fuck up. She's trying to watch your Korean TV, which is understandable.
That's fair.
It's more interesting than
Get in
this.
on it. Like,
Yeah.
it's so interesting.
It is very interesting.
If you're not watching this, watch some Korean TV.
Oh,
It is
absolutely.
It's
amazing.
buck wild. It's,
So hopefully yes, but not until we're properly set up. Which, look, who knows? Really, who knows? It's kind of like the rental market in Dublin is such a thing. So we'll try find a space. We're actively looking. Try find somewhere we can set up, soundproof, leave the equipment, lock it up properly, yada yada yada. If anyone knows of any streaming spaces that exist and
That'd
it's
be
like
great.
a co-op thing, hey, get in touch with
Put
us.
it- dude,
if anyone's
put it
thinking
in
of doing
the
a show
chat.
and wants to
Put it
like
in a direction.
share
Yeah.
a space, if you want to be office buds,
yeah.
get in touch. We're totally in the market for it.
But we should move on.
But we should move on. Question came in from Anon. Actual Anon. Wow. Only because I think I forgot to write down their username. What's been the most unexpected moment on the stream so far? I talked a lot about the minis. I think I'll hand it over to these guys and crack open a little metal man. No, I'll have a yellow belly.
Nice.
And then I'll get into
Yellow
the
belly.
metal man.
Yeah,
gonna-
I
yeah.
I think the in character, in story, the most surprising thing I found, there were two of them. Both of them came from Lucy. I just
Lucy's some really good moments.
She's just some absolute solid gold moments because just starts speaking and then thinks about it afterwards, and then as soon as it's said, it's perfect. It's in the amber. It can't be changed. Formed. So the first one was when she asked the child to take off her clothes in order to get something that had been there and back from the dream zone.
No, I like the dream zone.
The dream zone. And the second one is where she put the cloud of daggers into the contest of strength with the Minotaur.
And everyone was like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah. No, like they're just gonna wrestle, and those are daggers.
But there was a couple of pauses. She paused a couple of times, and then I got the impression she didn't understand the spell. And she's like, "Yeah, but it stays there and spins around." I was like, "Oh no, you completely understand what you're doing. You're okay with it."
Yeah.
As at the end, Cloud of Daggers is one of those spells where like I love it as a spell, and I loved using it when I was playing properly. But like from an NPC point of view, it's just like I'm just gonna step out of this Cloud of Daggers, though.
Yeah.
Remember, she used it in Lobo's Rune, and it was like there was shadow creatures and zombies or skeletons, and the skeletons were just like cool. Yeah, that hurt, but like I'm not gonna stay there.
But it's good. It's a way of making sure someone doesn't stay there.
Yeah.
And in a small corridor.
And if you've got a big, super strong, attractive barbarian to hold them in place.
Yes.
They can just keep
their
It's like Sandman and Spider-Man 3.
Just to piggyback for ever so slightly, I realize we keep getting derailed. Another Lucy moment that I really enjoyed was when...
So Lucy's Iggy the Bard. You'll see her as Iggy. And Lucy... Chop. She's in top. She's right.
She's bottom.
Bottom left.
Bottom left.
Iggy is the only one of us that has any healing magic whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I was quite bloody and I needed healing, and I didn't want to say use this spell because that's no fun. It's kind of like, oh, do you have anything that could help me? She said, what was it? I can offer you inspiration.
Yeah.
I was like, that wouldn't hurt, but I'm pretty sure you've got something that'll help. Like I think I can heal. I think you can heal. But it's like, you're like, can I inspire you?
So we have a mixed level of experience at the table. Gavin and Lucy are first-time players, which if you're a DM out there and you're thinking about putting together a party or someone to play with, I 100% recommend it, because people who've never played the game before bring a certain chaotic energy to it. That you can get with like other players, but like it's
mixing
amazing.
is great.
D&D is about thinking outside the box, and even it's just human instincts to slowly put yourself into a box. So first-time players are incredible because they're just like, can I just do this? And you go, yeah.
Well, it helps that Keelan is the more experienced player, but his character is buck-wild crazy.
Yes.
So he still does sporadic shit, even though he as a player knows what's optimal. He's like, yeah, but Huck would do this insane batshit thing, so it's fine.
Yes. So most unexpected moment.
Another unexpected moment was the bullywugs, where Huck was just the most intimidating badass motherfucker in town. I think
what was it he said?
He so much music queued up for the fight.
But he was like, if I'm readying the spell, is it on fire? And I was like, what are you planning?
Go back and watch that. It's actually a pretty badass moment.
And a learning moment as me as a DM, because like you prepare an encounter, you put all the time and effort into like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is my action economy, so I know monsters and so I can switch around from them, because it was like school of bullywugs, pool of bullywugs.
Yeah, that's it.
Spawn of bullywugs. A pod. The actual answer coming from
a wug of bullywugs.
And a giant frog, and Keelan playing Huck just intimidated them so well, and just like socially interacted his way out of an encounter, and
it was way more fun.
And just kind of went, okay, well, yeah, that's like, I'm not going to be beholden to what I expect to happen. I have to be beholden to the beholder that's hiding behind us. I have to be beholden to like what happens.
That's a big DM learning curve as well.
And I still don't like. You might do it once, and you might act like you might not do it the next time. It's a constant learning moment for me, anyway.
So now that we've answered that question really, really quickly, not derailed it at all. Next question
comes in from the Candid Man Can, which was for me. So I'll answer this if that's okay.
I think I've got this actually.
What's it been like to not only DM for the first time, but also DM on a live stream for the first time?
Well, I think, Ben, that you should probably answer this, actually.
I feel like you're James Lipto. It's like, I'd like to talk to
James
Ben.
Lipton.
James Lipto.
Lipto to his friend.
It's
And
Mr.
what
Lipton.
was your favourite DM moment?
I would like to talk to Ben the DM now.
Is Bart Simpson in there?
That's pretty good,
Like
actually.
the Simpsons one is pretty creepy.
Yes.
He just keeps asking for all of the children. No,
I
James
think
Lipton's
the
fine.
Jim Carrey one's good as well, because the audience is genuinely in stitches, and he's doing like as if a psychopath has read how people laugh. He's like, tremendous. And when you were doing the Truman Show,
You were playing the character from The Mask in a movie where... so, first time DMing and DMing on a live stream, it was... it's intimidating. It's really scary. I'm always super anxious and super nervous before every show. One, because I tend to run my words if I'm excited, as you'll know on the show itself. So I'm not the most... I don't enunciate
Eloquent.
particularly well. Eloquent. That's the one. But what's been
so
a
remember
real...
we were talking about knowing what the other person wanted to say?
Sandwiches. But what's been a great benefit is because it's on the internet, I have like a secondary session prep list, which means I plan a session, kind of outline it a little bit, and then I have my session prep list, which is like, have you done these things that if someone's paying attention, which the players won't, but if someone's paying attention, they will notice like huge gaping plot holes. And then in that prep is like, are there any opportunities to weave in your like longer story arc? Because again, if someone's watching from like episode 0 to wherever we're trying to take the show and the adventure and the story, like you want to start weaving that in. So it's like, it doesn't like, if prepping is ×1, prepping for a live show is ×1.5, probably should be ×2. But we're also drinking and we're just kind of seeing what happens.
You mentioned me and Paul.
Yeah, and then there's soundscapes, which thankfully the guys take off my hands. Like, so anything that runs through Sirenscape, which you're probably hearing right now, and if you're hearing Sirenscape, don't forget to check out Sirenscape.com because epic games need epic music. Okay, practically done. So yeah, it's an amazing software for sound. I send a sound brief over to Angus, like a loose outline of what I think is going to happen, and it's like this might like as you might have heard earlier. Total soundtracks prepped if we get there, or if they go that direction, who knows.
I'm going to throw some endings at them, but Hook will talk his way out of it.
Yeah.
I remember the episode where we had the giant plan of Arlington growing.
What?
And you know the episode where Arlington was giant?
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I threw away the sound plan as we didn't get past the first 2 pages.
Yeah, Angus throws away sheets of paper way more than I do as a DM, which is just like, we'll come back to it. We'll find a way to weave that back in. You know the way you're in a swamp? We're in a town. Yeah, swampy town.
Yeah.
So it's been really, like, it's been tough, and it's been, like, a little bit stressful, but probably no more stressful than, like, I also don't know what DMing's like. So DMing could just be this stressful. And the hope of the show is, if I can, like, crash this ship on the internet for people to see and still be okay and run and do the game again the next adventure, then if you're thinking about playing with like friends or family, I like to liken it to, you know, when you go to like a stand-up show and you see a comedian, you're like, I could do better than that. I want to be that comedian for you. I could DM better than that. And hopefully you do for friends, family, colleagues. It's an amazing educational tool if you work in a school or have an opportunity to kind of work with kids with it. It's incredible. It's a learning curve. I'm hopefully going to look back on the show like at the end of the campaign and go, whoa, look at that. I've really grown. Chances are I look back and go, whoa, still just as unprepared. But maybe that's the life of a DM. Who knows?
I mean, yeah, kind of.
Yeah. So thanks so much, the Candyman Cast, for that question. That was a really good one.
Yeah.
So, thanks you. No, the other ones were too.
Yeah, but you got to talk the most for that one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the life of a creative. You're always going to compare yourself to people who are better at it.
Yeah, it's what Ira Glass calls the gap, isn't it? So,
yeah.
when you want to create something, you're obviously inspired by people who are amazing at it. So, you are a fan of Critical Role and Matt Mercer, one of the best DMs in the world. So, you, inspired by him, want to do the thing, but the gap between you and Matt Mercer is so large that you just need to leap into that gap rather than trying to bridge it.
Yes.
'Cause
Yeah,
you're never going to be as good as the person who inspired you unless you just go and fucking do it.
Interestingly, though, one DM that I was inspired by is Matt Colville.
Yeah.
But
same.
there's a lot of stuff, like, I'm a huge fan of his. I don't DM the way he does. And there's a lot of stuff that he does that I'm like, nah, how could you even do that? But the stuff that he does do, I'm like, yes, that's amazing. So I know he's better than me, but I'm like, I'm going to go a different way. So it's kind of, that's a nice person to aspire to, whereas Man Mercer ID, I'd like to be carbon copy.
Yeah.
In a perfect world.
Who wouldn't?
But yeah, that's just interesting that there are so many different styles.
But it's a great lesson for anyone trying it out. Like, you're inspired by people. There's a gap there. You dive in. But the lovely thing about D&D in general is I find it sort of peels back layers of people. You get people at their kind of most genuine because they're like, they're only relying on their top level brain. It's just like, okay, what can we get? Like, you're thinking on the fly. You're really kind of like going with your first experience, which means that like you might be inspired by someone and you might like really love their style and go, but that's not me. And I think the one thing I'm trying to slowly learn is like, if I can be true to myself and how I like telling stories, even if it looks nothing like the people I really like look up to, then I think it's going to make for a more entertaining show because you're getting an honest look into this.
Yeah.
And if you're a carbon copy of something, go watch that. It's better. Like you don't want to be the exact same as someone else because then you're just sort of there, but bringing your own kind of flair and style. Like, I couldn't recommend it more, but it's tough to find. You have to find it first and find it maybe through imitation, see what fits, see what doesn't fit, see what you like, see what you don't like, and see how you go.
Cool. Shall we do another question?
I think we only have one more before we jump into character creation.
Ooh.
As far as I know. Let me just double check, and I'll check chat just in case any questions have come in. Cool. So, last question.
No questions?
From, I might have forgotten a question. So if you did send a question and we've lost it here,
ask it again.
Ask it
and
again in chat.
we'll actually
I
answer
mean,
it.
the thing is, if anyone like sees this after the fact, I mean, we're active on social.
Oh yeah, totally. Just ask your questions on social. You'll actually just get probably myself, Wes, or Lucy. Which, to go back to the tech question earlier, we have so many channels for so many different things.
We are fucking everywhere.
Not on. I mean, internally, like on our Discord servers, like we have a channel for like, is anyone ordering food this week?
Yeah.
We
have like 6 channels in Discord. 2 different. I think we have 2 different WhatsApps.
Right, you guys have 6. I have your private channels as well.
Oh yeah.
So private channels you can DM and players, and then a couple of WhatsApp channels. So like.
WhatsApp?
No, we don't. Angus.
No, we don't. No, we don't. Of course we don't.
No.
So a couple of, that's really handy for us
We do
because
one
it
for the
means
social.
we can kind of go, okay,
I feel
who
bad
needs to
now.
know what and when. Last question from the Beer Nut, who a good friend of ours from Final Countdown.
Love the Beer Nut. He is just genuinely one of the nicest guys, and also the I'd say the expert on beer in Ireland.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. No, his name is the Beer Nut.
His name is the Beer Nut. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he lives at 125 Nut Lane.
Whoever lives at 125 Nut Lane.
Yeah, we're sorry. Yeah. Is there a Nut
I
Lane?
mean, it just sounds like a euphemism for sex.
It does, yeah.
I'm going to Nut Lane.
I'm going down to 69 Nut Lane.
It's a cul-de-sac. Nowhere to go but the end.
So the Beer Nut asks, just in general to all of us, and if you're into beer, you're going to get the names of beers and potentially the styles of beers in this show, but if you actually want to learn about beers,
Don't come here.
the Beer Nut, if you want to hear people talk about beers and review them, the Final Countdown.
Yeah.
Did any of you go to Worldcon? Right, so Worldcon was on in Dublin just the weekend past. If not, why not? Always the Beer Nut, holding us accountable
Always
for
the Beer Nut.
Sorry, when was it again?
It was just the weekend past. Like, it ended yesterday. So, for anyone watching...
I wasn't here and I can't remember why.
The 19th was the last day, and the first day would be like 3 days before that. Probably longer than that.
Oh, I was doing boring photo and video stuff.
Class.
I was in a studio.
I don't go to anything that doesn't end in mania. So
That's a much better answer.
Fair.
I thought it was the weekend before. And for that.
Weekend before was Dublin City Comic Con.
Yeah.
Not Dublin City Comic Con. Maybe I'm just thinking of
Dublin Comic
Dublin
Con.
Comic Con, which I was at. Hung out with Luke a little bit from Dakota Irish. Went around, saw some incredible artists who were doing like amazing work on Irish mythology and D&D. So if you
I saw, you met up with Drew Akeem.
Yes, Drew Akeem, who works out of Sligo, does incredible work
I
on.
love his work. It's
Yeah.
so good.
If you want to check them out, they are DRUAKIM.
I'm gonna get it spelling up. Let's make absolutely sure.
No, I got
because
it.
because we met him at the Dublin Comic Con before, and
Yes.
he gave us bookmarks with all the socials on it, and the art was fucking beautiful on it. He was like, unfortunately, there was a typo in it, so he had to like write in pen, but his thing was on top of him. We're like, he was like, I know, but the information's wrong. You're like, oh, it was this beautiful fucking like red autumn like leaves falling and a man walking down this alleyway, and he's got Drew Akeem across it like.
So I met up with them, chatted to him for ages about like just favourite stories in Irish folklore, and then I met Kay O'Mara, who you might know from Dublin and Dragons, another show that do D&D campaign.
Also
Their
a
campaign just
fantastic
wrapped up, so if you want to go watch that, that's amazing too. Who does incredible D&D art and just incredible art in general. So definitely check her out. She's at Katie Armady, I believe, is her Instagram handle.
Good name.
So
Oh, fantastic! I opened up Wayne's thing. So it's Drew Akeem, DRUAKIM, but the third post is from Comic Con, and it's him playing Gloomhaven with friends. So that tells you everything you need to know about this guy. A reputable man. Gloomhaven's a great but complicated game.
and I wanted to go to Worldcon. There was two things in particular I wanted to see. Tantalus Ireland were putting on a show called A Critical Miss, which was like to do with tabletop role playing and all that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, their show was at like 10 a.m. on a Monday morning, so I had to be at work. And then the Library Bards, who you might recognize from like Geek and Sundry or just general kind of Twitch streams across the internet and tabletop roleplay. You might know them from D&D in a Castle. They were also over too, and I was really excited about going to see them, except for the fact that I got sick. So I got like a little like throat and cough infection, and then like I also forgot that I had some plans if I wasn't sick to go to the Fla, and the Fla is like incredible. It's like on paper it is a All-Ireland championship to find the best traditional Irish music player in the country. In reality, it is the best piss up in the world. And that too. And you can in the world.
Oktoberfest in Germany can stuff it.
Yeah, no, you won't get it. And there's something I love about Irish traditional music, which is like you're never sure. And it was well put. A Canadian friend came to visit. You're never sure if they're playing for you. It's like a bunch of trad musicians just in the corner playing away, and then they stop playing, and you're like, because there's been no interaction with anyone who's listening, you're like, do I clap?
They're also never sure when the end of the song is.
Yeah.
And you're like, so you'll always find like an incredible lock-in, amazing music, an incredible laugh up at the
I've
Fla.
never been to a lock-in. I feel like I've missed out a crucial part of life.
We could do a homebrew lock-in.
We could, yeah.
I mean, that's just forgetting your
Strap
keys.
in, listeners.
Yeah. Sorry, Angus, we're doing a lock-in. You're the horrible bartender. By horrible bartender, I mean the bartender with the horrible job of having to go pour pints.
Yeah.
But you just get a lock-in. You can, it's if you've been to one, it's loosey goosey.
Actually, yeah, because people outside of Ireland, I think, might not know what a lock-in is.
Right. So if you've never been to a lock-in, it's like a bar shuts up.
Because they legally have to stop selling you drink after a certain point.
Yeah.
But Irish bartenders found a loophole where they just lock the door and they're technically closed, but they've kept everyone inside, and they don't open again till 6 or 7 a.m.
And some of them take it real law of the letter, where it's like you don't pay for your drinks, you just leave money on the counter. So you're not really paying for them.
Yeah.
Oh, there's something like
accidentally leaving the exact price of a pint
it
or
was
more.
there was something like you can't you put the money on the counter and then the person takes it away or something, because a few people do that. A few places do that if they don't technically have their license, but it's in the works.
Yeah.
Ireland.
Look, and you thought it was weird that I was swindling a stein. It's just in our nature.
It's just in our nature. We're just rascals.
We're trisky.
We're rascals.
We're rascals.
Yeah.
That's actually somewhere I want to go. The Rascals Brewery Tour in Inchcore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in Inchcore, is it?
It is.
Yeah, it's a really nice building. Yeah. Great food as well.
So if you're in
But
Dublin,
enough about WonderCon.
I think that's the end of our questions. Let me just double check. I haven't missed anything, but I think that's
Is
the
there
end
anything
of
in chat? Did anyone throw anything in?
No, I think we've answered all chat questions and all pre-questions, so we're good. We're contractually out
Okay,
of.
yeah,
we've done the
Nobody
A to
sue
your
us.
Q.
Okay. Now we're all going to solve Rubik's cubes to pad out the rest of the time.
I brought mine.
And I forgot mine.
We'll just solve the one. No left. No middle left. So what we're going to do is, if you've never played Dungeons & Dragons before, if you've never played 5th edition, we're going to roll up a character.
Will we do one between us or one each?
Do one between us.
I think.
Yeah? Okay, cool.
I'm going to move this out of the way because we're stopping doing questions. So, chat, you're dead to us now. No, I'm going to keep checking. If questions come in, we'll answer while we're doing this.
Or I can mention.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Angus can mention. He's looking at chat.
So, in order to roll a character, one must
3d6.
46. You roll 46 6 times and pick the highest 3 of all rolls.
Is that proper rules as written?
That's
I've always done
proper.
46 and lose the lowest number just for like fairness. Like I've always.
Well, it's what it says in the handbook.
It is,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. Great. So I'm just
I believe... maybe not. Maybe it
You
wasn't
say
initially.
4 of these Monopoly dice.
I kind of like the idea of just being like, that's what you're stuck with, but maybe mechanically it does make more sense to take the lowest one or whatever.
Right, we need pen and paper, so I'm gonna take digital pen, digital
Okay.
paper.
So basically there are 2 ways to do this. There's a more balanced way of doing it. There is a default number range to take. It's in the player's handbook, but it's like, it's
That's
12, 14, 9 or whatever. Well, there's point by as well, but there's a default range. You can place those numbers like one number is 12 and like, I want to be a strong character, so I'll put 12 in my strength and 10 in my dex or whatever. But those are the numbers you have, and then there's modifiers for what race you take, so you get a +1 or whatever. Then there's point by, which you can raise and lower and just kind of min-max your guy. This is the more chaotic version, and what you can do is you can be like, listen, I want to play a barbarian, so I know when I roll, we're going to roll or whatever, and I get the number that's 12. I'm like, right, that's going to be my strength stat because I want my guy to be strong. I always like the idea of rolling, and you can decide, like, I'm rolling for my strength. And your strength might be 10, and then your intelligence might be 16, and then something might be whatever, and that kind of dictates who your character is. So you're like, okay, I'm strong but smart, and I'm very charismatic. I guess I'm going to be a bard, but that's not for everyone. I wouldn't recommend it for your first time. Yeah,
That's what we're doing today. Yeah, when I rolled, I had the numbers and then assigned them to the thing based on the class I wanted to play.
Yeah, you rolled all 18s, didn't you? Like,
I
you
rolled
did
all
lots. You were
18s.
just like,
It was
exchange
mad.
rolls,
Yeah,
yes.
I did roll 118 and put it into Dex and got a +2 to Dex. So that initiative is just so high.
I think stat-wise, I'm pretty sure Rian is like a high roller motherfucker. Like Arlington's very middle of the road. He's kind of like, he's fine, not super gimped or anything, but I think Rian's a powerhouse.
He got some nice stats. Yeah.
So potentially, we're going to use whoever we roll might be an NPC in our standard game, might be a character in one shot we do or something, or it might be a backup character for one of us if one of us dies.
It might be our version of Wit from the Brandon Sanderson Cosmophere, who just appears in one shots and in Hibernia and everywhere else.
Brad Sam's favorite author. I'm totally game for this one.
I only recently remember because my girlfriend's obsessed with those books, and she explained because I've only read the original trilogy and the start of the second trilogy or something. And then she started explaining this character who moves. Was it like a realms walker or some business or something like that? And I was like, oh yeah, no, I'll get around to that book. I'll get around to that book. And she's read literally all of them. And then she started talking about this guy, and I was like, so now I have to read 30 books because I love this person. And I want to properly appreciate what's happening with him.
Yeah. It's his version of Arkin the Cruel, who's just like disappears and everything, and he's amazing.
Have you seen the artwork for his fucking turtle death cleric?
Yes, that's incredible.
Oh.
Arkin the Cruel is played by Joe Manganiello.
I'm pretty sure you're very far away from the mic, by the way.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah.
You got real into that.
Thank you, Wes.
Arkin the Cruel is played by Joe Manganiello. An incredible D&D player and dungeon master, and runs death saves. So if you're into D&D, you probably know who he is.
Is that his thing?
I think it's partly his thing. I know him as Flash Thompson from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man series because boy was I on Flash's side. Toby, what a whiner.
Was he in Spider-Man?
He was.
He was Flash Thompson.
He was Flash Thompson.
No way.
Well, he was playing Arkin the Cruel, playing Flash Thompson. So cool. I've got a little character sheet.
Yeah.
By that I mean just a piece of paper.
Cool.
I also got a character creator if we need to do race and class and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So we can do that too.
Well, let's do the stats first.
Yes,
then.
I think going by what class people play, you should do Dex. I'll do Strength. You should do Charisma as the rogue barbarian, and
DM.
And no one rolls intelligence.
Not on this.
I mean, there are,
I
yeah.
roll wisdom for sound.
I mean, do you think you should roll wisdom?
High perception, right?
Yes.
Then you are wise enough to roll wisdom.
You passed our riddle. Do you want to start with strength?
Yeah, let's start with strength.
Strength and con? You can roll both of those.
Yeah,
Cool.
sure. Okay. So,
Exciting
the
dice roll.
strength of our character.
Is
Okay, so take the lowest one away, so it's 3, so that's going to be 5 plus 4 plus 3. So that is 12.
a 12. A strong
Nice,
enough
that's pretty
boy.
good. I guffawed because I saw a lot of 3s, but I did not see the 4 or the 5.
I enjoyed the
I was like,
fall.
oh, wait.
Yeah, he's our guy is exactly as strong as Arlington is, so this is fine with me. Will we go around? Will we
wanna
do
do
checks?
con?
Let's do
Con?
con. Let's get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Let's get it out of the way. The boring one,
Double.
but also super important. Okay. Ooh, that not great. So that's 6 plus 2 plus 3. That's 11.
Not bad.
That's okay.
Kind of middle
Well
of the
balanced
road.
so far.
You doing
I'll do Dex.
Dex? Do you need somewhere to roll? You're good?
I'll roll right here.
This is
I
why
see that immediately.
you can't
Yeah.
teach it. Can't teach it. We have two
So,
dice boxes.
That's a 12.
12. 5, 5, 2, and 1. Getting rid of the 1. That's a 12.
And will I roll wisdom and you do int and chat?
You have a dice tray
Taking
right
the one,
there.
the one roll away from Angus.
Oh, a lot of 6s! No, I didn't. That wasn't my roll. That wasn't.
Was it all 6s?
Hop in here so you're not.
Yeah. You up in there.
I get.
You do this little thing.
All right. I'll just perch here. Oh god damn it.
That's a 9.
That's a
Aim it
9.
in the microphone, boy.
That's a 9.
Now get out of here before I spray you with water.
I mean, like,
Ben, do you want to take? Do you want to make us hyper intelligent?
yeah!
Oh, nice.
That is nice.
15.
Very strong.
And charisma, 1 dice each.
Yes.
There's 4 people here, 1 dice each.
Yes.
This is how characters
It's like the
are made.
it's like the Infinity Gauntlet.
This is how Token did it.
Oh, we got a 6. 3.
I got it.
Now, I've only just realized this means one of us is going to be completely disregarded. It's going to be
gonna
Ben
be
so
Ben.
far. 4.
Yes.
Ben, out you go.
So what was that, 13?
13.
Yeah.
Charisma. So I'll run you through the highest stats. Now, again, this is for someone who's never played D&D before, rolling your first character. Strength, how much you can lift, bro. And push and wield a sword, all that kind of stuff. Constitution, just how much damage you can
How many
take.
times you can be stabbed by a sword.
How much you can drink too. How much you can hold your breath in the water, that kind of stuff. Dex, how dodgy you are. Wisdom, just how intuitively how in sync with the vibrations of the world. It's a good way to put
Wisdom with your heart.
it. Intelligence, how book smart you are.
Yeah.
Charisma, generally just how good you are with people, how sociable you are, that kind of thing.
Or intimidating.
Or
Or
intimidating.
intimidating,
Well,
yeah.
Or intimidating. Yeah.
How good you are with people in one way, shape, or form. Or
Because
another.
if you're the type of person, and I know a few people like this, who just know your one weakness, and they're like, oh, you do this? Have you ever thought about this? And they just cut you to the core. They're just, they're socially savvy.
Mind ninjas.
So we have from maybe it's easier for us from lowest to highest,
Yeah.
so then we can kind of disregard some things.
Yeah.
Wisdom is our lowest stat at 9.
Okay.
So you want to
Not
avoid,
super street smart.
Yeah.
Not super street smart.
Probably druids. They're
You want to
very-
avoid druids.
Yeah.
What else does wisdom?
Barbarians.
Give me handy.
Not this
Ranger spells and then some monk stuff depending how you go.
Monks. Yeah, you want to avoid monks as well.
Next is Constitution 11. Pretty
Con
good.
is good for everyone.
Yeah.
And not having it as a negative.
So they're
is
probably going to be a
pretty great.
backline person. They're going to be,
Yeah.
yeah.
We got strength and dexterity equal at 12.
Okay.
Okay, so
Fairly well rounded, so we
fairly-
can go either way.
Yeah.
Charisma 13. And then intelligence at 15.
So intelligence at 15. There is one class that uses intelligence predominantly.
Wizard or a bard.
It's a wizard. Yeah, a
Bard
bard
is
to be as a
charisma.
charisma caster.
No,
Yeah, with those two stats.
Um,
Which is funny because usually in 5th edition, if you were to roll these numbers and then assign them, intelligence has just become a dumb stat for a lot of people. So you end up with a lot of dumb parties, which thematically makes sense because players
Yeah.
are not the
Pretty
brightest.
I have an idea.
Yep.
So we have fairly balanced dexterity and strength, correct?
Yes.
With a higher stat of intelligence.
Yep.
Eldritch Knight.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Now you don't see a lot of them. It's a magic wielding fighter.
Yes.
Okay.
So they don't get a huge amount of spells, but it basically gives you the ability to swing a sword, kick ass, take names, but then some cool little. It's not your spells aren't going to be like fireball blowing shit up.
Yeah.
It's going to be doing your kind of like tricksy shit.
And Eldritch Knight is always intelligence based.
It's basically a fighter with strength, but then
Yeah.
with spellcast. It's basically the Skyrim shit
Yeah.
where you're throwing fireballs with one hand and swinging a sword with the other.
Is Arcane Archer also
Similar. Yes, I think it's just a ranged version.
A ranged version.
I've only read through that briefly. It doesn't sound super fun.
No.
Played it. It's literally there's no middle of the road ones. It's all nukes or nothing.
Yeah.
I just think they're cool. Apparently, it's very like it's for thematic fun. Like you're not going to be like the most powerful person, but it's the idea of being a person who wears heavy armor and can cast spells, which could be kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it's a bit different flavor wise than like a paladin.
Yeah.
But that's my vote. But
Yeah.
I'm open to. I mean, paladin would also work. We've got high charisma.
Yeah. Similarly, if you're doing... Oh, we do have high charisma, yeah. Similarly, if you're doing an Eldritch Knight, you could do the rogue equivalent.
Yeah.
Which would be Arcane Trickster.
Yeah.
Which I can tell you, I snuck into chat there to ask the race. Furbolg, which is going to be great. A
Furbolg
I don't
adds
actually know what their bonuses are.
They add to wisdom, don't they?
Yes.
Thanks. yeah, I think so.
I mean, no, I'm all about the opposite of min-maxing.
Yes.
Yeah,
and we've
yeah.
yet to come across a Furbolg in
correct.
in Hibernian.
Yeah.
So let me just do this
Because I think we launched not long after Matt Mercer introduced the most memorable Furbolg in all of D&D.
Yeah.
So there's no point in us adding him.
So
Or the
interestingly
Pumat
about the Furbolgs, they are part of the Irish mythological cycle of stories. So when
You're
the
welcome.
Tuatha first came to Ireland, they fought the Furbolgs, who were here. So named because they're the bag people. Yeah,
Bag
bag people.
people.
They had to carry their bags of things from, I think, what is now sort of the Greece area of the world. Oh, man, we just doxed Greece.
That's where Paul is.
No, Paul is greased.
Slippery
And carry the bags
comedy.
over. So if you're into Irish mythology and you're into the mythological cycle, it happens to be it's the cycle I quite like the most. Then comes the Fenian. I actually like them in chronological order. It just gets a bit everyday when you get to the old normal people, no druids. But
You don't
Furbolgs,
enjoy them in release order. It's chronological order.
yeah, the machete order of the Irish
Should
mythology.
have ended after season 2.
They should have. So Furbolgs are from here,
Yeah.
but weirdly in Wizards of the Coast D&D world, they've turned them into like potato-faced,
Yeah, they made them
big
real-
nose bulbous, bit of rosacea, like intentional
nose.
Sorry, back it up there. Bit of what?
rosacea, like a little bit of like
redness on the
redness.
face.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah, you ever see an
I
old
might-
man? Yeah, it's very common in Ireland.
yeah.
It's your classic old man.
That's like the rosy-cheeked kind of.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
And eventually turns into that kind of like very red and purple nose into like just like burst blood vessels. and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
You see it all over Ireland. So that's kind of neat. But then they just didn't make them like humans. Anyway,
They're big gnomes.
big gnomes.
Big
Big
gnomes.
gnomes.
Big gnomes. Good
Yes.
shout,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. So we've got a Furbolg. Are we going with Eldritch tonight?
that's my vote.
I'd be happy with Eldritch Knight.
I'm open to.
And also, fighters are generally fun, but like bit of magic.
That's
bit
the thing.
of magic.
That's the thing. It sounds like fighter with a few little tricksy bits. I'm open to paladin as well because I feel like Furbolg kind of fits that. Mm-hmm. But I like the idea of an Eldritch Knight anyway.
So, excuse my ignorance. That's a class, or is it a subclass?
No, it's a fighter, but it's a subclass.
Okay, so start with fighter. Cool.
Yeah,
So,
so
for
you're-
first couple levels,
Actually,
fighter.
here, I may as well get the handy
Yeah,
player's
First,
handbook.
first couple level fighter.
As
But
self-appointed rules lawyer.
Furbolg are in the Volos.
Yes,
I
but
have
their
an
class.
idea, don't worry. Yeah.
so
it's-
you're planning for level 3 where you get to choose your
Yeah.
subclass.
Yeah, we're not going to start this
Backgrounds.
guy at level 1 because whoever, we'll just kill him.
I think for the background, we should look at the beers at the table, see what they
Yeah.
inspire, and see what they.
Well, on the Fritz seems like some sort of military man, and if he's a fighter,
Egg for the metal man.
Oh, Metal Man.
Oh, yeah.
Could be a blacksmith.
could be a blacksmith.
Have we
yeah.
used Boyne? We have to have used Boyne by this stage.
We almost used Boyne to name a very small river.
We did,
And I
yes.
refuse to name
Yeah,
a very
that's
small
fair.
river.
That's fair. I think
And
Angus has a
Sorry,
question.
mythology who lost at the start of the Irish Flag, lost his arm, he becomes Silverhand.
Nuda of the Silver Arm. Yeah.
Oh,
Didn't even wait a beat.
yeah.
yeah.
But-
Also known as the Winter Soldier. At every point in Irish mythology, he was there, turning the screw.
What's the Irish for like school bus? Blue Ledger. What is it? The brainwashing thing. they
Oh
do.
yeah.
Yeah. My Irish has failed me because I don't have any. Okay, Eldritch Knight. Okay, so Eldritch Knight. One of the cool things about them is Eldritch Knights. They learn a ritual that creates a magical bond between yourself and one weapon. You perform the ritual over the course of an hour. The weapon must be... Once you've bonded the weapon to yourself, you can't be disarmed with that weapon unless you are incapacitated. If it's on the same plane of existence, you can summon that weapon as a bonus action on your turn, causing it to teleport.
So cool.
Teleport instantly into your hand. So you could like start swinging, then... there's a bit more. You can have 2 bonded weapons, but can summon only one at a time with your bonus action. If you attempt to bond with a third weapon, you must break the bond with one of the other 2. What else fun stuff? You get spell. What level are we putting this guy at?
So what we need is background from the beer.
Okay, yes, I'm getting.
I like a blacksmith as Metal Man.
Metal Man?
Yeah.
Metal Man.
Do we want Metal Man to be the name or a nickname?
Well, the name on this is Tip Tango. Tip Tango.
I like Tip Tango a lot.
I can hear you, Tip Tango.
Yes, I can hear you, Tip Tango.
Tip Tango of the metal arm.
Tip Tango, the metal man of Metal Arm.
Yeah.
What are you into? I'm into metal.
I'm a big metal fan.
I love Tip Tango. That
Tip
makes
Tango,
me-
the Metal Man.
Entertainer.
Yeah.
God, I want to play Tip Tango.
The Metal Man.
I have to go on this. I have to derail us. Star Wars. End of
derailment.
End of
Y'all remember Star Wars?
But end
There's
of an era,
a new one.
End of an era coming up this year. Irish mythology, the story, the Battle of Moyturd, and Nuada of the Silver Arm, and Lugh Lobfada, and Cleave Sullus, a sword of light, and Balor of the Evil Eye, a literal death eye. Yeah. It is like Joseph Campbell written all over. George Lucas like num 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 num. It is like such a connection that like if I was to do a TED Talk, Star Wars inspired by Irish mythology, because it was, just on the basic levels that there is some inspiration there. In the same way that like this show's inspired by beers and Irish mythology, it's like just enough to make you go, oh, he lost an arm. You know, he carries a light sword.
They filmed it on Inishbofin.
Skellig Michael.
Skellig Michael, sorry,
Yeah.
not Inishbofin.
Yeah. Boffin's a great place, but it's no Skellig Michael. Which actually is where Iggy the Bard was this weekend. So.
She didn't make it.
She did not make it.
No. So we're recasting because she's died.
Yeah,
Anyway, so we have Tip Tango the Metal Man, who is
a
a
blacksmith. Is it available?
There's guild member.
Guild member will do
there has to be a. Excuse my ignorance here. There has to be a background.
Or a.
Oh, is this for? Are you doing a D&D Beyond?
No,
what's
they,
that?
they don't sponsor the show. I'm doing it on the paid for app I have that creates characters.
Oh, sorry.
But if they did, I totally would. So I'll do this.
So screw them.
You continue. I'll do
Okay,
this.
so hang on. So what's our dump stat? What's our bad one again?
Wisdom.
Wisdom. Why is he not wise?
Do Fearbugs get the general? Do they get a buff to wisdom? In which case, he'll be normal.
Yeah, but I think.
But he's
even-
less. He's less
Yeah,
wise than your
if they-
average furball.
Yeah, so maybe he's been ostracized for his lack of wisdom.
Perhaps.
Maybe
Yeah.
you run into him in that you're going through the forest, and he's the only one who's lost where the rest of the Fearbugs are because he's not good at survival checks.
I see you're taking the headphones off. Can you make sure we can hear you when you're saying things? Because if you're saying important things and we're like, yeah, write that down.
Someone repeat it then.
Well, can you not hear? Oh, use the other headphones.
All right.
But his voice still comes from inside him.
But there's a delay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We'll
Now
see.
we can find out. It's just something to iron that out because we
Yeah.
keep like, yeah.
So he's been excommunicated from the rest of the Furbolgs. I think Furbolgs something. I think they're in tune with nature. That's where they get their wisdom from. So what if he was a country mouse heading to the city? All right.
Okay.
And they were like, "You'll never be a Furbog. I don't want to look at you."
If he's super intelligent and they're super wise, they know about tilling the land and they know like wisdom and shit. And he's like, no, I'm gonna read these books. And I was like, get out of here with your books. I'm like, I'm gonna go where there's a library.
Yeah.
Library, son.
Yeah. Oh my god. He's Belle from Belle and the Beast.
Yes.
Beauty and the Beast.
Nah, Belle and the Beast better. Okay, yeah. So he had to get out. He was just a small town boy living in a lonely world.
Did we decide male or female, by the way?
Oh yeah, we have just kind of assumed male. That's fair.
Yeah. Three dudes here. We're
was
sorry,
the-
guys.
What was the?
Well, no, guys.
He is a metal
Tip
man.
Tango is clearly a no. Okay, better. So I think it should be a she, and she stole a suit of armor from her father to mask who she was. So she's known as the Metal Man, and it's like, I am no man, but that's copywritten. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. I got it.
No,
Yeah.
it's fine. No, but she's
So
she's renowned as this male knight.
And she's forcing this, so she refers to herself
Yeah.
as the metal man and created this persona of the metal man.
Yeah, because the patriarchy,
Because
and
the
it's just
patriarchy,
easier for
yeah.
her to carve a name out for herself, and she's this super.
Arlington, you've created another character where you have to hide your identity.
Dual personalities are fun.
Which also, like, if we're dropping this in as an NPC, it's like, I am the metal man. No, you're not. I don't even have to roll perception for that. Like, no insight needed.
Do they still get to keep the metal arm?
Oh yeah.
Well, then you could also do something. It's like, oh, prove to me you're actually a woman or whatever. I bet you my right arm or whatever. That's how they lost it.
If you go up to a woman who can call lightning from the heavens and carries a great sword in back and say, "Prove to me you're a woman," you're getting your head cut off, my friend. I don't know if you've ever met a woman before.
I have an idea, and I say I mean chat. Have an idea for a custom spell a custom conjuration spell that this Eldritch Knight might have.
I'm interested.
Where now they say wizard, but we're applying this to the NPC. We're improving. We're yes-anding.
That's the whole game.
Yes, and or its nasty cousin, no but.
Ooh, boo! We don't like that at this table.
No, but sometimes it could be really effective.
Yes, and that's true.
God, when did yes and become like just pop? Like cultural
it's-
consciousness.
Yes, and I'm very annoyed with it as well.
I genuinely blame D&D. It can't all be good stuff.
So, wizard opens up a portal from one nearby point to another area as a reaction. Could be an enemy charging.
Is this completely homebrewed or is it based on something?
I think it's completely homebrewed. Like, opens up a portal from one area to another.
Okay.
Okay,
I would say that sounds like the Spot, the Marvel villain, whose pretty much whole thing is he opens up little portals to when people try to punch him.
it does sound like the Spot the Marvel villain. It also sounds like the portal gun from Portal.
It also sounds like it is.
Yep.
It also sounds like whatever unique idea chat's come up with.
Yes, it does.
Yes. So, yeah, I think we should totally give them that.
Yeah.
And maybe they're just using it
What
for
level?
real.
What
like,
level spell?
Oh, like, if we made it a small area, you could make it like a neat little cantrip. It's
Yeah.
just for show. Like, I'm just gonna drop my keys. I'll throw in my pocket.
Yeah.
But if it's an enemy charging through or a projectile, ooh, like that changes the course of a battlefield. Like, I would have to go to the Dungeon Master's Guide.
Yeah, like you could create a portal from the enemy charging towards you to off a cliff.
And I think we should call it the Puka's Pocket.
The Puka's Pocket.
I like that one.
Yeah. I think it's just
It's a dope spell.
It's
Yeah.
a dope spell.
Great.
Maybe it levels up as you level up. So
Yeah.
starts
Yeah.
as a cantrip. Do a lot of spells do that? You can cast them at higher levels.
Yeah,
Like,
you
maybe
can.
just
Some of them
expand
get
the
boosts.
size.
Yeah.
So we'll do
Or
that.
maybe that could be their personal quest to, like, that's their fucking Naruto very advanced spell they learned they shouldn't have, and they're just kind of working to build that. It's like that's their weapon.
So we need
Maybe
to get
that's how
back.
they lost their arm.
Yeah, maybe.
They lost their arm
Lost
that
their
way.
arm.
Yes.
Slice.
Experimenting, and they experiment because they're so intelligent.
For those who
They
just
smart,
joined us,
they smart.
for those who've just joined us, because it would be confusing. Angus, our sound guy's here. We're doing a loose Q&A. So the voice of God you're hearing is just on
Yeah, he's
screen.
right. Chad is just all question marks.
Yeah,
Yes.
like, what is this? How are you throwing your voice? We got sidetracked again. I would blame the beers, except I love beers, and I'd never blame
No, don't blame them for
Uh,
your mistake.
them. Fighting style. We have
Oh yeah.
archery. I think we're ruling it out.
Yeah.
Defense, probably ruling that out. Dueling, maybe.
Maybe.
Great weapon fighting. Now that twigged.
No. I'm thinking if we're gonna be spellcaster, maybe dueling works because you have to have a sword in one, a weapon in one hand, and a free hand. Isn't that it?
Oh, that is it. Yeah.
So I think you're gonna have to
Then
have
you
the
get
other.
+2 to 8.
Also,
Yeah.
if she's the metal man, and her whole thing is about armor, I'm thinking defense.
Defense also
Oh
fits.
yeah.
Well, protection's
She
here.
can, she can
Oh,
Winter Soldier.
But protection is protecting other people. Is defense
Oh,
defending herself?
yeah. And then two weapon fighting. I don't
Which
know.
for
We need to Skyrim.
which if the plan for her is to become an Eldritch Knight, 2-weapon fighting doesn't make sense. I don't think.
I'm gonna make an executive call and roll a d6.
Go roll a d6.
So okay, just
Too late.
to
Dueling.
Dueling it is.
But even just as a general thing, just to clarify the difference between defense and protection. Defense just gives you a boring old +1 to AC, which is actually crazy powerful, but it's dull as fuck. Protection means that if when a creature you see attacks a target other than you that is within 5 feet of you, you can use your reaction to impose a disadvantage in the attack roll. Thematically, so badass, but you are so rarely directly beside someone to be like, ha ha! It comes up less than you'd expect unless you're in an all melee party, but God, it's so thematically tasty good.
Tip Tango, you have been born.
Tip Tango is created, has been summoned from our imagination.
So basically, so sorry, we're going with dueling, yes?
Yes, we want
So basically, she's going to be slinging spells left and right, and if anyone gets close, she gets +2 to damage rolls with whatever her weapon is.
Very nice.
What
Very
weapon
nice.
is she wielding? Is it a sword, or are we going a bit more?
Long sword, yeah.
Well, she's a level 1 at the moment.
And bear in mind,
So
level 1, but bear in mind, we've got equal strength and dex. We could go
Finesse.
We could make her a
Rapier.
fencing.
Yeah.
Rapier.
she has 2 martial weapons as part of the general pack. I just picked an explorer's pack if she's ostracized from her clan.
Makes sense.
On the road, pick survival as one of the skills she was proficient in, as well as animal handling. Hibernia is a dangerous place. If you have the ability to be like, shush wolf, then great. And even if you have to do that to people who are in the wilderness,
Shut
the fuck up.
up.
Shut the fuck
yeah. As we saw Huck do to the bullywugs. So 2 martial weapons, sword.
Yeah,
Short
long sword.
Is that
Firbolgs
the
are big.
rapier idea as well.
I like the rapier thing, but are we gonna go into the whole she's trying to pass as like this gruff boy man and maybe give her like a spiked mace to be like, yeah, sure, I'm a boy, I hate feelings. Tears, what are those? I hate things.
But she's got magic in the other hand, which
But
is a very
that's what I mean. If you see an armored knight and they've got a big, brawny, bulky weapon, you're like, all right, I'll just keep my distance. And then they're like, right, we're gonna start the fight. Tough shit, motherfucker. Magic missile, eat a dick. Like, misdirect.
look, Shatter.
Misdirect would also be a great nickname.
Spear
from the chat.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry.
I like spear.
These bozos were talking nonsense. Spear.
No, completely.
Is spear
disregard
versatile? Can you
all
use
that
one
bullshit.
hand, 2 hand?
Can you use it? It's 1d6 is one hand, I think it's 1d8 is 2.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it's versatile.
But the point is, if this is a little cantrip spell that can pin something that can fit in your pocket,
Oh,
throw the spear, portal it back to the hand. Incredible.
amazing.
Wait,
Yeah.
but does she have to do it like while in flight?
No. Better yet.
She has to do it as a reaction. Is from what I hear,
Bear with
so-
me, right? Better plan. Portal, drop the spear. Zoom. You are going to get it. Why? Portal.
That's fair.
Oh, I love
So
it
one
so
spear-
much already.
One spear, one morning star. They're chat's suggestions.
Yes.
They're far better than our
Yeah.
own.
Yeah,
Even
love
more
it.
star on the hip.
Yeah, morning star on the hip.
What's a morning star for me?
It's amazing. It's like it's a stick with a ball and then spikes on it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No.
So it's a mace without the chain.
That's a morning star. Oh no, sorry, a mace does have a chain. A mace is the one on the chain. The morning star is the
No,
one
mace is where you can get like a breakfast roll for about £3, but Centra is the
chicken fillet.
Oh no, it's a
No.
global financial advisory. Yeah.
Yeah.
no. It's
I
a
don't
long,
know what a tracker mortgage is.
a morning star because we have the internet. And instead of just shite talking and making it up, it's a long
Yeah, I was right,
hat
yeah. It's the
with,
ball
with
with
the kind of
spikes
a
on it.
mace head
Ball
on
with
top.
spikes.
Yeah.
Do you know why I know that? Because it's the bugbear default weapon. Arlington.
He stands and decides to tense it.
You don't know how he starts the morning. He tenses his pelvic floor every
I'm
morning.
really looking forward to this character who is so like combat ready, being like a shopkeeper.
Note
Like
from the chat for this sort of Wes's spear portal thing, or just grab the enemy with your better strength and drag them over to the 2 portals, buzzsaw style.
There's a lot of checks there, and I don't think she's got time for that.
and we can't cash those checks. So we have Tip Tango, the metal man, hiding as a man by just covering up themselves. Secretly a woman. Classic Bian of Tarth.
Yeah.
Classic
Yeah.
Milan. Classic Eowyn.
Yeah.
You know that trope.
Who says there's no good female characters in fantasy?
I mean,
Yeah,
they
no,
really
everyone.
aren't.
It's really not great. We're doing our bit in our single bubble.
Maybe if you read more
The one,
fantasy.
even though we started this whole thing, you're like, yeah, it's a dude. It's totally a dude.
Yeah.
We were misled by Metal Man. Which
That's an easy way to fucking blame our bias.
I think Metaman export. So for once, it's like we're drinking delicious Irish beers, but I think Metaman, they
do.
export.
Yeah.
So you can find them similar to how Beavertown, an amazing UK brewery, send their stuff over here, and it tastes sweet.
Yes, lots of good breweries.
So
Drink
we
more
have
beer.
our NPC. We generally have a gist of who they are and what they are. I think that's all. Like,
I think we're good.
do we want to?
I mean, the rest will be a nice surprise to find out wherever we drop her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it will.
Do we want to have one? Like, I like making NPCs with hook and twists. So the hook being, and I
Not
like
Hook
this.
the character.
Yeah, with hook, with our character hook. Hook being this is what they want to achieve. The
Oh,
twist
yes,
being
yes.
this is if it doesn't happen, or if it does happen, this is what happens. That came from.
So what's
there's an incredible newsletter I subscribe to. I think it's GM Tools. I think I will properly tweet that out from the Homebrew channels afterwards, just to double check. It's a guy called John. He's incredible. But I got one of his emails. So as a first time GM DM, a master in a dungeon or dungeon, it's an invaluable tool, and hooks and twists were a really really good thing to have.
Okay.
So
I was gonna go with the defaults: ideals, bonds, and flaws.
we're not called Homebrew for now.
That's completely fair.
Yeah.
That's a mic drop.
I'll just move back to my place that you
Yeah,
put me in.
I don't know. Like it might just be
No,
me,
no,
and we
I
can
agree.
and second Q&A. Let's open this
But
up.
I'm thinking whatever we get, let's have 1 point each. So
Yes.
twists, hooks, whatever.
Because I don't know, like we can talk next time we have an open round table, kind of like ideals, bonds, and flaws. I've just never found inspiring. I just don't know what it is.
yeah.
Like
That's
they're
fair.
amazing jumping off points.
We kind of tried them, didn't we? No, we did flags.
We did
and-
flags from Dungeon World. We
Yeah,
brought a
yeah,
little bit of
yeah.
Dungeon World into the game at the very beginning, just to have things to sort of progress the roleplay.
Yeah.
that was kind of, we were fresh off the heels of
Yes.
Dungeon
Yeah.
World.
It felt a bit forced.
And
I think,
but myself and Ben had a game run by a professional DM, Joseph.
Yeah.
Joseph last name.
Limbo.
Limbet, yeah.
Overlord.
Who was incredible. Such a good DM. That was such a good night. And we were like, this mechanic works so well. We introduced it to our game. It was like, why isn't it as fun now without the professional doing it?
Yeah.
It's someone who has incredible amounts of experience.
Yeah. Okay, so what are our categories for this? Sorry, hooks, flaws.
So we're looking for hooks, what they're doing,
Yeah.
twists. So for example, the example that was in this newsletter, so if you subscribe you'll recognize it, is like you come across someone who's trying to get a coin off the ground. If the coin doesn't come off the ground, the town is haunted by something. So it's like a cursed coin stuck in the ground. They're trying to get it up off the ground. That's what they're really focused on. So when you come across them, you're like, oh, what are they? That's kind of interesting. What are they doing? And then the twist being, if you don't help them, a consequence happens, or they can go like, I just get a bad feeling about this, that kind of thing. So hook and twist
Okay.
for this.
So just hook, twist, that's all we're doing? Do we want to have a third one?
The other ones were like personality and portrayal, or no, appearance and betrayal were the other, like, so their appearance
Okay.
and how you portray them.
How about we do 3? We do hook, twist. Sorry, we do hook, twist, secret.
It won't be as, but we could, we
Yeah,
can do it,
yeah.
but it won't be a secret.
Well, secret. She's a.
Okay, well
She's
then-
a lady. whoa!
How about,
She's
how
a
about
lady.
more vague, like as in like she's running from someone, that kind of shit.
I'll tell you what. This could appear in a one shot, or it could appear in Hibernia and Homebrew chat. Type in a secret. These guys don't. I can see.
Oh,
chat from me,
good.
Yes, good.
But these guys can't see it.
Bringing in the audience.
So, so if there's a secret that this character should have, type it in the chat. Suggest. We'll look through it, because you can look back on this stuff. Because then it's a secret.
Yeah.
Yeah, a real secret.
She's got a secret. She's a modern man.
Well, I'll say it to Ben and no one else, but chat's also come up with an entirely different character,
Which is also incredible.
which
So
is
we-
incredible.
yeah.
I'm just gonna say, like,
Oh,
when I
nice,
hold
nice,
on to that
nice,
one,
nice.
You guys don't
Yeah.
look
Nice.
Okay.
we're taking
Okay.
that.
I had to go over like 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
That was great.
We should wrap this up. So
Yes, we should.
Do you want to take hook or flaw?
So hook is something they're trying to do. Hook is something they want.
Oh, sorry, hook and twist. Sorry.
Hook and twist. Yeah, she.
The old hook and twist.
She is looking to. Simple. She's looking to sell her armor at the lowest price possible, offering it to everyone in a suspicious way.
Okay, then twist. her armor is enchanted and it hasn't been unlocked yet. So if she sells it to someone who is not pure of heart, then darkness will descend on the land.
Okay, I think we did it.
Bingo bango.
Which is a great place to end this Q&A stream and also NPC creation. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Back to the usual adventure.
Real
back to the
episode.
realm of Hibernia. Picking up where these guys are in the town of McKellar as they are trying to unravel the mystery of McKellar and what's going on in this town. Please come back to join us then. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's like, the next step in the trial of 3. So who knows what's on the cards.
Oh yeah, if you haven't watched the previous episode, I wrestled a goddamn Minotaur.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
With knives.
With
around
knives.
the ring.
Yeah, there didn't need to be knives there.
I did lose though.
But you gained its respect. Failure's not
I'm
always-
actually really excited to see where we go with this.
Yeah, same.
So we'll be back in 2 weeks' time to continue the adventure proper. We'll have the players back in the country or not.
Yeah, we should have a full party for the next one
Yeah, we
because we
will.
were supposed to be missing you, but you will be here.
I will be here.
So we'll have full crew.
So we'll have full crew, and then and who knows if there'll be a special guest or not. We certainly don't. But what we have not done is the super amazing announcement from
Yes.
Dakota Irish.
Oh yes.
So before we leave, what we are going to do before the end of the month, so like from now until the end of August, is that we've got a dice giveaway made from Dakota Irish exclusively for subscribers to Homebrew. So you won't find this in the Dakota Irish shop. You won't find this in the Dakota Irish Kickstarter, which you should also check out. I'll put a link in the chat and in the description. You won't find it there. It's only available to people who subscribe to Homebrew on YouTube or Twitch. If you subscribe to both, you've got twice the chance to win. And we're going to be doing these dice giveaways kind of moving forward. So as long as you subscribe, you're in with a chance to win. If you haven't subscribed to our Twitch channel or follow our Twitch channel, you just need to follow it. You don't need to subscribe because I don't think we're actually a big enough channel
But
yet.
please subscribe.
And
When
if you-
it's an option.
and if you subscribe on YouTube, we're going to do dice giveaway announcements. We're aiming this one for the end of the month because these dice are in production.
Yes.
This is how fresh off the table they are. We have a sample set. We're going to
Yeah.
post them up on our social media channels tomorrow.
The red dragon fire.
Hot potato. At Homebrew Quest is where you'll see a sneaky peek of these dice. And as long as you're subscribed on YouTube or following us on Twitch, you're in with a chance to win. So it's just a big subscriber giveaway to say a huge thanks to everyone who's following us so far. We are a fledgling show. We're just getting off the ground. We're kind of finding our momentum. And this is a way to say thanks to the people who've been here since the very beginning.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you share our clips or full episodes around, you don't get any bonus to the competition, but it'd be real nice.
We love you.
Yeah, big hugs.
Yeah, genuinely.
That would actually be huge.
If there's anyone you know who'd like the show, who's interested in like a little bit of beer, a little bit of Irish mythology, a lot of nonsense, and not knowing what we're doing.
That's the main thing.
I mean,
Plenty of
yeah.
first-time players. I'm a first-time DM. We're stumbling into the fires. Who knows where that's going to take us? Please share. Tell a friend. As we say earlier on, probably a podcast version coming soon enough.
Yes.
We just need to figure out how podcasts work. Everyone knows how that works.
Like it's definitely coming. Just TBC.
Yeah, we don't know.
It's where it will be.
We can't say next Thursday because we don't know if it's next Thursday. It's not. Anyway, so until then, until we're back, give us a follow on YouTube and Twitch. Subscribe. We're going to put all the names into a big old Jumbotron. Spin it around. That's not what a Jumbotron is.
No, a tombola.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
I thought a tombola was the part of like the ocean, like a sand spit. Like
No,
That's tombolo.
I thought that's what you said.
No, tombola.
No, that's
Open your goddamn ears.
You're supposed to be the goddamn sound guy.
No, Tombola is the guy.
Jambalaya.
Wait,
Please-
sorry, I thought
please
that was
correct-
the NPC we made.
Please correct me in chat if I'm wrong.
That's Tip Tonga. All these tea names.
We should get ready to let everyone sleep.
Yes,
It's 10:30
We're
on a
gonna
work
we're
night.
gonna head until we're back in 2 weeks' time. Hope you have a fantastic. Hope you have a fantastic 2 weeks.
Finish it off.
Get out of here! You're meant to turn the stream off.
No, I said get ready to.
And be sound to one another.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.